out here in the local community and other types of events. But we'll get to that later. This year, it's really just about the flying apart and getting
different individuals participate today. Of course, the grand finale is the Blue Angels today, so there's lots of excitement about that as I look across the tarmac there and see some of the planes. So I think we're just about ready to go here, Captain, with the national anthem. At this point in time, I'd like to pass the microphone to the captain of the base, Captain Bill Perkins, who has some opening remarks. Captain?
Yeah, thanks very much, Gene. Ladies and gentlemen, across the Imperial Valley, I'm Captain Bill Perkins, the commanding officer of Naval El Centro, and I welcome you to our inaugural Festival of Flight. Although we couldn't find a safe path to bring the public aboard the base this year to join in the experience, the entire team of men and women across the base have gone to extraordinary efforts to bring the show to you in a safe, virtual manner befitting our current COVID mitigation postures, both across the Department of Defense and across the state of California. Now, the national anthem was playing. We had hoped to have the world-famous Navy parachute demonstration team jumping out of an MH-60 Seahawk, but as you can hear over the microphone, it's just a bit too windy. We're outside of their limits. We're going to see if we can fit them in later in the day if the wind does die down, but we're going to proceed on with the rest of the scheduled event. Now, for those further out in Radio Land, we're going to get some epic videos and pictures posted on our website throughout the event, some periodic updates, and then later on in the week, we're going to have highlights that we'll post on our social media. So coming into this event, one of the things I challenged my team to do was not to give up. Well, people across the Imperial Valley enjoy this event too much for us just not to give it our all. And it's been a hard year for many of us, both inside and outside the fence line. Everybody listening has been touched by COVID in some way, and almost all of us know someone who's succumbed to the disease. We all need a lift, and our annual event offers that lift, so I wouldn't let them take the easy way out. I challenged them. We would have an event with live aircraft. Something, and we got there. And then the real hard work began. How do we do this safely and still bring the experience of hearing an aircraft and feeling the jets and seeing the contrails and smoke from the demonstration teams? How do we capture that in a way that both makes the experience memorable and enjoyable and remains safe to do in the COVID environment remains uncertain? Our friends at KXO Radio are helping us with that part, bringing the show to you virtually over the radio waves. And I know from experience, you can see the show from miles away, and I hope that many of you are indeed watching from your backyards or somewhere safe and listening to us on the radio. Now, we've got a packed agenda today. The aircraft with the leapfrogs in it is airborne, and we're trying to see if we can get them to do something here shortly. But I hope you enjoy the rest of the show. So, Gene, over to you, and let's get hearing some jet noise.
Yes, sir. I know that's what we're all anticipating here shortly. Again, you just heard the captain mention that the Leapfrogs, their performance will be modified today, and that again is weather related. So if you'll just bear with us and stand by for a few moments, I was going to ask the gentleman here to my left, PAO, a couple of questions and put him on the spot. Don't you think that's a good idea?
Absolutely. Chris is my public information officer, and he's the keeper of all the knowledge. So he'll let you know on any questions you may have. And thanks again to your team for helping our entire team bring this event to the Valley. And we're just hoping the weather cooperates so we can bring as much to you as we can.
So, Chris, let's move back a couple of months ago, maybe even farther than that. I lose track of time. Had a conversation with you, and you said, I don't know what we're asking you, but we're asking you something. And I said, well, let me think about it.
Exactly. I remember that conversation so well when I said, Gene, I don't know what I don't know. How do we do this?
And here we are today, the 13th of March, a day that in some senses we thought would never get here. And in other senses, it went by so fast that it probably almost scared us to death. But here we are.
Absolutely. I was waking up this morning, and as I was driving across the airfield, I was imagining in my head the traditional crowds we would have by this time of day, 10, 15, maybe 20,000 people on the airfield. But today, I know there's that many people surrounding us on ditch banks or in their parks or in their backyard, and they're listening it. And I just got word that at about 12:40, we're going to have our first act, which is that helicopter that the skipper described. He's going to fly by with smoke on so that we should get a colorful display. Never before been done. So another historical moment as we bring the first ever on-air show. Can we do that? On-air show?
We're doing it right now. So in about less than 5 minutes, we're hoping to have the Leapfrogs with a modified, like I said, appearance here at the show. You're also going to have a TAC demo today as well?
Yes, so that's going to be a unique thing for everybody watching us around the Valley. The TAC demo is a combat-ready F-18 doing combat maneuvers, where the Blue Angels and other teams have somewhat of a choreographed dance. This guy's going to go out there and show you all of his combat moves. He's going to show you what he might face in an aerial fight, and he's going to show you how he would win that aerial fight.
Now, would I be safe to say, too, earlier they talked about the fact that this TAC demo would actually have two different appearances here in the Festival of Flight?
Time depending, that's what we're hoping. So we'll see how many performances we can get out of him today. Also, given our weather constraints as well, basically the wind is kind of breezy right now.
Well, if you just joined us, you may not know, but we have spoken with the captain of the base, Captain Bill Perkins. We are waiting at any moment for the Leapfrogs in a helicopter to, what's the military term? He's doing what with smoke?
He's going to do a smoke, basically he's going to fly by and they're going to let smoke off of the sides, and it's going to be a colorful display if I understand correctly. I haven't seen this particular maneuver before, so we will describe it for everybody just as we're seeing it for the first time as well.
The Leapfrogs are a very popular item here in the Valley. They've made many appearances here. As a matter of fact, we learned some history, and you can look this up, ladies and gentlemen, if you're listening right now. They really started. They were birthed here in El Centro, NAF, right?
Absolutely. In 1960, the Navy was looking for an act to open up before air shows in 1961, because 1961 was the 50th anniversary of naval aviation. We already had the Blue Angels, which was a show closer, but the Navy wanted a show opener that year. So they looked around the Navy for any parachute teams, and NAF El Centro at that time was the home for the National Parachute Testing Range. So they reached out and they said, hey, can you guys put something together? And they said, absolutely, we can. And in 1961, the Shooting Stars, CHUTING, Shooting Stars were born. And they were the beginning of the Leapfrog.
We keep looking over here. I believe that we see a helo here who is making a pass. So if you're within the sound of my voice right now, if you look, how should we describe them? It's in our southern portion of the sky. They just passed the tower and we're going to see if they're going to put some smoke on.
Smoke on, exactly. So they're lining up on the center line right now. They're coming over towards Show Center where we're at. They're at about 500 feet from us. So it's going to be out there.
There's that smoke. And you're right, you didn't shortchange it. You said color, and we've got colored smoke.
Absolutely. That's a beautiful red smoke coming out of there. This would be, I guess, a very low and slow smoke performance as compared to the Blue Angels high and fast one.
Yes, you're a poet, and you didn't know it. I think that's how you said that. And what, if I may be so bold to ask, what type of a Evo is this, Captain?
So this is an MH-60 Sierra Seahawk flown by the men and women of the Merlins of Helicopter Sea Combat Squadron 3 based in San Diego. So a local group, and they were kind enough to come out here and support our event. And you can see the feet dangling out of the aircraft. That's the leapfrog, and they're trailing that smoke that they would be doing from their parachute. There's just too much wind for them to safely jump out right now, but they're doing the best they can, and they give us that aerial demonstration and a little bit of color.
If this is the first year that you've been here and you're hearing us talk about the leapfrog, do yourself a favor. When you hear it, they'll, I'm sure, be back here next year. They are an incredible act. I've seen them over and over and over again. And that entry, when that big Old Glory comes down below the last guy, the narrator's talking, and it is just an incredible thing to see.
You know, there's nothing quite like seeing that ginormous flag flowing there in the wind, fluttering. You've got the parachutists around it, going around in circles. You've got the smoke coming off of their feet, making highlights. It's almost like painting in the sky. And I think that's one of the best ways. It's almost like a ballet performance with the colors and the flag and everything. And it's an extremely stirring moment. And I know it is for me.
Absolutely. It is very patriotic and moving to see it. So I know they were disappointed, but we're safety first here in NAF El Centro. We're very pleased on behalf of the community to have you as our good neighbors year after year here in the Imperial Valley. So that was the leapfrog, and they look like they're headed to return back here to the base on the ground. We do, if you just joined us, again, we talked about we're going to have two different entries with a TAC demo, and that'll be an F-18, correct?
Yes, sir. That'll be the F-18 in its combat configuration. It's got a gray paint scheme designed to blend in with the sky under normal combat situations. Our neighbors around us are going to be able to see it moving very quickly through the air, and it's going to show us how to fight in the air. It's going to show us combat maneuvers, sometimes extremely tight turns, really sharp vertical movements, dives, flip overs. It'll do practice bombing runs. It's going to show us everything that the F-18 is capable of in defeating our enemies abroad.
Well, they certainly, from what I understand, have a good show planned today as well. I think we have a few moments here. I know that we do have a gentleman here from the recruitment side of the Navy, and if we could, I know I caught you by surprise, although I did know that you were here. I have with me Petty Officer Acosta, and Petty Officer Acosta, you are part of the recruitment arm of Navy, is that correct?
Yes, I am, sir.
What I would like to do is just talk to you a little bit. If somebody's listening right now and they say, wow, what that fellow has to say really moves me, I'd like to maybe research the possibility of upping in the Navy or maybe even make a career out of it. What would you suggest they do, sir?
Well, there's a few resources out there that they could reach out to. First, the internet is huge out there, and I would recommend going to Navy.com. You can actually go in there, and there's a avenue for you to be able to click and get in touch with a recruiter. But if you're out here and you're local to the area, we have some resources that you could be able to find us as well. If you're on Instagram, you could go to @USN Recruiter, And you can follow them and get in touch with them, as well as our local region is at NTAGSW, at NTAGSW, and reach out to us there. So we're all over the place, as well as there's a local recruiting station, too. If you have any questions at all, reaching out to any of those resources, we'll be able to get in touch with you.
Okay, so what would you recommend also to a person? I mean, some people I don't think realize how broad of a spectrum the military, in this case the Navy, what they have to offer for a career, whether it be for 4 years, 6 years, or for a full a career with retirement and all. Can you touch a little bit more on a few other things?
Yeah, I mean, a lot of people know about the aviation, especially with the Blue Angels out here, but there are so many other backgrounds that we are so self-sufficient that we have a lot of different programs to be able to offer people. So, you know, some people, they want to get in the medical system, and there's a big avenue. I mean, that's a huge way from being an X-ray technician to evaluating people and surgeons. We have engineering, which actually splits out into two different fields. We have a conventional engineering platform, and I come from a nuclear engineering platform where I've dealt with nuclear reactors on board aircraft carriers, and we have them on submarines as well. We have supply and logistics. They provide all the support that we need, and they actually provide a lot of the parts that we need just for these Blue Angels here, which is great and fantastic. We have our own law enforcement to be able to enforce the base, security, everything.
So what attracted you in particular? Very personal question. What really drew you to the Navy?
Well, when I was in high school, I know I had been growing up watching the Blue Angels fly, and I think I had a general interest in the military, but I had no idea what I really wanted to do following, and I knew that military was something that I was interested in. And my uncle had served in the Navy. My math teacher, he was also a pilot in the Navy, and recommended I look into it. So I contacted my local recruiter, and they told me, hey, take this test. And I took what's called the ASVAB, which tests your knowledge on basic math, science, and English skills. And I did really well on it, and they told me, hey, you qualify for the nuclear power program. I'm like, what is that? You get to work with nuclear reactors. Oh, that sounds cool. So that's what you do as well then too, right? But you're in the recruitment arm now. Correct. So now that I'm on a shore duty, I help with recruiting and help individuals that are interested in coming to be part of the Navy, whether it's enlisted or officer. We help those people out.
Well, Petty Officer Acosta, I want to say thank you. Catching you literally, I almost blindsided you, but I want to say thank you for providing the information of how a person could make a career out of joining the Navy or just serve their country. But we want to say thank you.
Well, thank you for having me here. It's been a pleasure. And if you have any questions, again, Navy.com is probably the best one and the easiest way to get a hold of us.
All right. Well, we have another special guest here.
Let me bring over a gentleman from the Leapfrogs to tell us about what they do.
All right. I saw the back of his shirt, and I said, all right, we can talk to somebody from the Leapfrogs, of course. Their birth, if I can use that term loosely, started here in...
that was 61 with the Shooting Stars, started out here in El Centro. And for everyone out there, I am Chief Andrew Young. I'm the leading Chief Petty Officer of the United States Navy Parachute Team, the Leapfrogs. And so in 61, the Shooting Stars got their start here in El Centro, as well as the Leapfrogs also getting their start in 67, starting out going to air shows, just demonstrating Navy excellence and the special demonstration techniques from the NSW community, Naval Special Warfare. The team primarily consisted of, at that point, of Navy SEALs, EOD, and UDT. And from there, we've just gone up and out.
How did you get involved with the Leapfrogs? You've been involved how many years?
I have. So this is my third year on the team. I've actually been with the Navy Parachute Team. I've done over 1,000 jumps with the team, but I actually started out as a military freefall parachutist. And before anybody comes to the team, that's the primary number one qualification they have to have, is they have to be a member of Naval Special Warfare and have a military freefall parachutist qualification. Which means that's where guys are learning how to do their tactical parachute insertions and things of that nature. And then we bring them over to the demonstration side of the house and we spend 3 months, just like the Blue Angels do here in El Centro. We spend 3 months in San Diego working on all of our demonstration techniques and routines, and we train from January through March, and then right here at the end of March is when we start looking at hitting the road.
Does it put you in a pressure spot where, because of what you do, and from the history that I've seen, a lot of what the leapfrogs have done have impacted parachuting, not only from a military side, but a civilian side as well. Would I be safe to say that?
Yeah. So we, the Navy parachute team, we actually specialize in a discipline called canopy relative work, or crew. That's when we get out of the airplane, we put our parachutes together and make different formations, and then bring those formations down close to the ground so everybody can see them. You know, a lot of stuff in skydiving and parachuting happens up really high where it's hard to see. But with canopy relative work, you're making a big formation that's really easy to see from the ground. And that's one thing that we pride ourselves in, is bringing those crew formations down low.
Well, it's really cool. I've seen these guys so many times at the air show here, the Festival of Flight, as it's now called. Over on the Friday night, they have a food fest in the leapfrogs. It's become a tradition. They jump. So it's in the night, and you get to see, you guys have got your smoke on board, I guess, so to speak, mounted on your leg. And they're coming down, and it's just it's a sight that it's hard to describe.
It is. That's a really fun jump for us. That one normally kicks off the season for us, jumping out with pyrotechnics on our feet, landing right there for the crowd to kind of give something, a really cool, different perspective. You don't normally see parachutists at night, so for us to get that opportunity is always great here in El Centro.
Yeah, I'm sure your Adam's apple would go up in the top of your throat the first time you jump out into that abyss of darkness, but I'm sure that the adrenaline rush takes over very quickly after that.
It does.
Well, I want to say, again, welcome to Imperial Valley. This is, I guess we could say, almost like a second home to you, from the standpoint of you go back every year to your birthplace.
Right, that's it, absolutely. And we look forward to coming back every year, and we hope to see you all again next year, hopefully with a little less wind.
Yes, and I'm talking again with a representative of the Leapfrogs. One last time, your name again?
It's Chief Andrew Young.
Chief Andrew Young, we want to say thank you very much. I want to say thank you to Chris. I know he made that arrangement. When I saw the back of your shirt, like I said, it pleased me that we could put a little more personalized spin on the thing. So, Chris, what we're waiting for right now is a tactical demo. Is that correct?
Exactly, Gene. And back in the background over by the hangars, you may be able to hear the engine. They're starting them up right now, going through their pre-flight checks, and they're making sure the aircraft is ready to go. And here shortly, probably within 20 minutes, they're going to take to the skies, and we should have a representative of the squadron coming over to talk with us, who's going to help describe all of that. And right now, people around the base may notice that helicopter is doing a few short passes, giving people something to photograph, something to look at, while we're waiting for the TAC demo to come out here. He's just doing some dances out there, letting people take pictures of him, and, you know, showing some of the things that they would come out here for training. A lot of people think it's just the Blue Angels or some of the fixed-wing aircraft that come out here, but we have an awful lot of the helicopter squadrons come out here and do the same things. One of the things they love doing is coming to our deserts, because then they get to practice brownout landing. And that's where you're landing in the dirt, and it's because of the rotor wash, it just completely surrounds the helicopter, and it becomes landing in a cloud of brown. And that's one of the skills they need to have as we go overseas, especially in the Middle East and in other parts around the world. You have to have the ability to land right there in the dirt. And so that's a practice skill. He's also going to probably fly around some of the valley here looking at everybody. So if you see him, make sure to wave at him, and they'll be waving back at you.
Well, you had touched before that they like this area for training because they can assimilate other areas internationally, like Afghanistan and that type of thing. So I can understand, after visiting with you, why they are drawn to here. And, of course, the great flying weather. Yeah, we have some wind today, but we can contend with that. So if you just joined us, it's a TAC demo. It's an F-18. We're going to see them do a lot of maneuvers that a jet fighter would do.
Exactly, Gene. They're going to demonstrate what it's like to have an aerial dogfight. Although they won't be fighting against somebody today, he's going to run through the maneuvers that he would use in an aerial fight to win. He's going to have a lot of steep turns, sudden acceleration going vertical, sudden acceleration going towards the ground. We're also going to see some demonstrations of what it's like, the positioning he has to do if he's doing a ground attack, dropping ordnance on an enemy force. So the F-18 is a very versatile aircraft. It's both a fighter in the air. It's also ground attack, where it can deliver all types of ordnance to ground targets. The Navy's go-to combat vehicle for this all-weather support and all-attack support. And what we're going to see out here, not quite like the Blue Angels, although some of the maneuvers will be the same. We're going to see them done much more aggressively by the F-18 TAC demo, because in the real world, he would be fighting a combat, and he's got to get the upper hand and got to get the upper hand quickly. So he's going to show what his aircraft can do and demonstrate to the people around the base watching us from their backyards and from their favorite ditch banks and their park what we would do in a fight. And it's extremely exciting to see the energy and the maneuvers that he can pull off.
Well, we have one of the bird's eye views here. I feel a little bit guilty to say this, but we're close to the tarmac here. We're like in the eye of the storm, if I can use that term. And I look forward to watching both the attack demos that they're going to do. Looking forward to the Blues as well, too. I don't care how many times you've seen them. It's never enough.
Absolutely. That's one of the things I think that is so unique about the Valley, is just as much as they love coming out here, we love having them here. They identify with us and we identify with them, and you're right, it never gets old. We have hundreds of people on any given day during the normal training season out here watching them, learning them. This year with the new jet, we had a lot more people than we expected to come out and watch and photograph them for the first time. And I think it's really exciting that the people of the Imperial Valley will be the first people to see this jet fly.
That is true. You get to experience a lot of firsts here because of our flying weather and the location of the base, etc. We like to say when you hear that noise from a helicopter or a jet or whatnot, that's the sound of freedom.
It is indeed the sound of freedom. And I want to circle back real quick to something you just said, that this is a place of firsts, because the Imperial Valley may not know it, but a lot of firsts in aviation history happened right here on our little base. Going back as far as World War II and the genesis of parachute systems there, we did all of that. And then coming out of World War II, as we transitioned from the prop-driven aircraft to a jet-driven aircraft, they realized suddenly you can't just step out on your wing and hop off and parachute. You kind of had a whole different experience. So that's where ejection seat technology started getting tested, was here at NAF El Centro. And that's what led further on to a lot of our things. A few years later, JFK brought out that challenge that we would go to the moon. And during the space race with our Mercury and Gemini programs, initially they were thinking of a sort of triangle glider system to bring the spacecraft back to Earth. Well, that didn't prove feasible, and finally they decided on a very good old proven technology, the parachute. So that's where we got our start here into that, is all of the parachute recovery systems for our space program were tested here, all the way through to the solid rocket boosters used on the space shuttle. And more interesting is recently with SpaceX, you'll remember last year they had that historic flight to the space station. Well, prior to that flight, about 2 weeks before, they did their final parachute recovery test here on the ranges of NAF El Centro. So even today in the 21st century, we're making history as the premier place to come and test your parachute. And another note, looking right over there, Gene, at the parachute drying tower on the southern end of our base. We built that back in the 50s and 60s to dry parachutes. When you get them wet after landing in the Salton Sea or after they're dirty, how do you dry a parachute? We built a tower so that we could hoist them up there and let them drip dry. So one of the most notable features of our valley, the parachute drying tower, is literally a clothesline for parachutes.
That's some very interesting information, and I'm glad that you touched on the parachutes because of the rich history here. I can remember a company called Philco Ford. They were big involved in photography. Bill Powers, where are you? There was a name, I know this predates you, Chris, but Bill Powers is somebody that a lot of us knew that came to the Valley because of the Navy and ended up staying here and making this his home afterwards. I think we have somebody here that wants to give us some information. I know that at any moment we're going to have the TAC demo.
Yes, I'm being told right now that TAC demo narrator is making his way out to us. So if you'll give me a moment, I'm going to go hunt him down and bring him over here so we can get ready for that TAC demo display of aerial combat over the Imperial Valley.
This might be that gentleman right there. It says Hog Sweat, so I like that. I understand you're going to be the narrator now for the TAC demo.
Hey, firm, sir. Today's show, I'll be doing the narration for the 10th angle. I will be running the F-18 West Coast demo team.
All right. Well, I'll have to ask you that loaded question. Are you ready?
I'm as ready as I'll ever be. It's first time, so we'll see how this goes.
Well, if your plane is in place and you're ready to take off, so to speak, then I'm going to pass the microphone over to you and really put you on the spot.
Sir, I'm ready for that. Thank you so much. Appreciate the introduction. And good morning, actually afternoon, City of El Centro. My name is Lieutenant Mateo Hog Sweat Mazzetti. I'm from Sacramento, California. And on behalf of the United States Navy, Naval Air Station Lemoore, Commander Strike Fighter Wing Pacific, and the commanding officer of Strike Fighter Squadron 122, we are proud to present the West Coast F-18 Super Hornet flight demonstration. Originally intended to replace the retired F-14 Tomcat and aging Legacy Hornet, the Boeing-built F-18 Super Hornet is Navy's frontline tactical aircraft. Known as the Rhino, for those who fly it, the Super Hornet builds on the combat-proven design of the original Hornet with improvements such as 30% larger surface area, larger payload, longer range capability, and as well as increased weapons lethality. The aircraft performing you today is the Echo version of the F-18 Super Hornet, which incorporates a one-place cockpit to accomplish the assigned mission. In today's demonstration, Pilot Lieutenant Griffin Stengel, call sign Pushpop, from Madison, Wisconsin, will demonstrate the incredible flight characteristics of the Super Hornet. Lieutenant Stengel has extensive flight experience and has flown numerous sorties in support of Western stability and other operations around the globe. During his flight, he'll experience up to G-forces of up to negative 3 Gs and up to positive Gs of 8 Gs, and therefore executing maneuvers at the edge of the maneuverability envelope. Today's show will be performed at airspeed as high as 700 miles per hour and as low as 100 miles per hour. Many of the maneuvers you see here today demonstrate the aircraft's capabilities in the tactical arena and are employed during combat and training flights when we do our missions.
Plane to go airborne, or did they already take off?
No, currently Lieutenant Stengel is taxiing over to runway 26 due to the maximum tailwind component of 50 knots that we can utilize when doing this air demonstration. He's now going to have to roll in via an air start demonstration to do the dirty roll is what we call it, which I'll explain to you when he gets airborne. So we'll be taking off runway 26 and then lining up for runway 12 to execute the flight demonstration.
All right. Very, very interesting. I'm going to hold this for you here so it doesn't end up in the next county. But I'll let you go right ahead. You're doing a really good job. I wanted to tell you that.
Hey, just not the best speaker, but I'll do what I can to make sure everybody understands what's happening here today.
Don't believe that, ladies and gentlemen. He's doing a good job.
Yeah, currently right now, Lieutenant Stengel is just lining himself up, getting ready to take off runway 26. And And then once he gets airborne, he'll be getting set up and ready to go for the air power demonstration.
Now I see where you're looking.
Yeah, so if you look all the way across the airway,
So would be east of us.
The approach in of 26, that's where he's going to position himself. Normally we'd be taking off runway 12, but with the high wind states that we have here today, we're going to have to just wait for him to be able to be airborne and start from the air start presentation instead of off the ground.
Now, sir, are you a pilot as well?
I am also a pilot. I'm also part of the demo team. So when we go on the road, effectively what we do is we send 2 to 3 pilots. One will be the narrator for the other pilot during the show, and then on the next show we'll swap it out.
So you
I'll be the pilot on the next show, or he'll narrate that show, and vice versa.
And vice versa.
We also have in training some WISO, Weapons System Officer candidates that we're putting through the training pipeline. So when we ever bring a Foxtrot and do the air power demo via Foxtrot, we'll end up having them also in the cockpit with us as well.
Wow.
So a multifaceted role for the F-18.
Very, very much so from all the reading that I've done. It's an incredible aircraft.
It's a lot of fun to fly, and it's, there's never a time where you're not learning something. So you're always constantly learning new things, and here today we constantly are honing our skills, proceeding through everything, and we'll debrief accordingly to make ourselves better each time that we go and do this demonstration.
Do you remember the first time you took your solo flight in that jet?
I do, and it's a time that you'll never forget because it's one of those things that will live with you forever. And having wanted to fly planes for such a long period of time, it's really been a blessing for me to be able to continue to do this to this day.
You didn't have a little tossing and turning in the sleep the night before, did you?
Not really. I probably should have, but I just accepted that I was going to, go flying and do safe, aerobatics and not push the envelope too much. But now today, we start honing those skills that we learned over the last 8.5, 9 years that we've been flying and just try to make ourselves better and better each and every time.
How many hours do you have?
Total flight hours, I have 1,400. F-18 hours, I have 1,150. So a fair amount, always looking for more.
Where's home for you?
Sacramento, California.
Oh, you're a long way from home.
So up north California. Being stationed in Lemoore is pretty great, though. Only 3.5 hours away from home. And so it's pretty awesome for me to be able to do that. Where, Lieutenant Stengel, who's currently flying, is going to be, he's all the way from Wisconsin, so he's, 2 states away. Wisconsin, you got to say that to him like that.
Wisconsin, yeah. Yeah, you've been around him a little bit, I can see, because you emulated his accent.
Yeah, he and I actually started in the military together, and now we've come full circle together. So we went through OCS together and started our journey at that time.
With the fun that I hear you talking about and the things you do, how do you motivate yourself to get up in the morning, huh?
It's just every day, nothing's the same.
Yeah,
really what it comes down to. Even if you're doing the same flight as you did the other day, there's always something different with that flight. So you're never bored.
Absolutely.
And you're always excited to continue doing the things that you do. And again, you're always learning. So there's never a time where I've got it.
They're giving us a sign, I think, is the jet is taken off.
Yeah, he's currently now looking to take the runway, and he'll be starting up those engines in a minute.
Sir, if you need me to move this or anything, just let me know.
No, you're good to go.
We're
currently, Lieutenant Stengel is now taking off of runway 26. As you can hear those loud General Electric F414 engines starting up. He's going to keep the jet dirty at this time and just level off, get ready to set up for the dirty roll. So, ladies and gentlemen, if you please direct your attention to the aircraft that is currently airborne to your left. The jet is going to currently take a right-hand turn and come around and set up for runway 12. And now, as he ends up getting himself proceeding down and along the line of the runway, you'll see him execute what we call a dirty roll. What that is a 360-degree roll while the gear is down. But as he is in that roll, he's going to raise the landing gear. And so by the time he completes the roll, the gear will be up and locked, and he'll be complete with that maneuver. This shows the superior power and actual flight demonstration that the F-18 has with extended drag capabilities.
Wow, sir, it got quiet there all of a sudden. Obviously, I know that's planned, but very unusual.
Yeah,
So,
power on, power off corrections, and now here you'll see, as he's starting to pitch the nose up, the dirty roll. As you see the completion of that roll, his gear is up and locked, and now he'll start pitching the nose up, passing through 4,000 feet to reorient his jet to come back down for the next maneuver. This next maneuver is what we call the half Cuban 8. It's basically a half loop where he's going to announce, get the jet inverted, posting about 40 degrees nose low, and then he's going to roll the aircraft upright in a second. You'll hear it be quiet for a moment here, too. And now what you'll see is he's going to squat the jet in a moment, stop on a dime, full ASTIC authority, and get the jet to level off at 1,000 feet. Super Hornet is unique in its ability to operate at slow speeds and high angles of attack. The superior flight control computers allow the pilot to position the aircraft when he needs to and where he needs to. In a second, observe how the aircraft will rotate 180 degrees while nearly in a flat attitude, what we call the flat pirouette. Now, the Super Hornet's engines produce over 44,000 pounds of thrust in full afterburner. This allows the aircraft to sustain 8 times the force of gravity in a very tight turn radius. Whether in a dogfight or avoiding surface-to-air missiles, the ability of the Super Hornet to turn in very tight space gives it a tremendous tactical advantage. Ladies and gentlemen, as you're watching, this aircraft is now in a 90-degree angle of bank, executing what we call the min-radius turn. And then as he pitches out of this turn, what he will do is execute a vertical tail stand, basically stopping the jet in its forward progression on a dime. And its angle is now extending out and away from the crowd line, set up with a high-speed pass with an idle vertical climb afterwards. During this maneuver, the aircraft will approach you nearly at Mach 1, demonstrating the use of speed to surprise our enemy. You may notice any white vapor coming off the jet, indicating that it is close to the speed of sound. Keep in mind that the speed which he is flying is only half the aircraft's maximum speed. I now direct your attention to the right as the Super Hornet approaches, accelerating towards the speed of sound. Ladies and gentlemen, the high-speed pass. Stance angle will now pull up the aircraft into the vertical and point the jet back and towards the earth in order to reorient for the next maneuver, the vertical pirouette.
What kind of G's, sir, is he pulling right now?
Right now, we go max G, so it's approximately about 7.5 G's over the top, and then we reference alpha once we get below a certain speed limit. So about 7.5 G's over the top is what occurred right there.
Ooh.
Yeah, it feels good. Now he'll be entering the next maneuver, the vertical pirouette at 350 miles per hour. He'll pull the jet into the vertical, roll the canopy towards the crowd line, and then, like his afterburner, as the airspeed slows to about 220 miles per hour. He is then going to execute a very enjoyable -3G pushover in order to set up for the vertical pirouette. As he then pulls the nose back up, watch how the aircraft swaps from a nose high to a nose low attitude, rapidly pointing back towards the ground. Ladies and gentlemen, the vertical pirouette.
So that maneuver that he just finished, that would develop weightlessness, would it not?
Absolutely. So especially that negative 3G pushover, you're kind of like floating in the jet at that moment. You ate a big lunch, it's going to come up. And then as you're going through that vertical pirouette, it allows us to rapidly execute nose authority to go from an defensive position to offensive position very quickly. Now what he is getting set up for is the next maneuver called the square loop. He'll be selecting an afterburner as the jet approaches the center line, and Lieutenant Single will then reposition the nose 4 times, making a square in a loop fashion.
So we got 2 to.
Now watch as Lieutenant Single extends. He's going to approach from the left, doing an aircrew favorite maneuver called the inverted whisper pass. The aircraft's going to get set up and accelerate to 450 miles per hour at the height of 500 feet. And approaching show center, he's going to roll the aircraft inverted and then reduce the power to idle and hold a level attitude. Ladies and gentlemen, from the left, the inverted whisper pass. Now Lieutenant Single is extending out and away from the crowd line to set up for the high alpha pass. This maneuver will showcase the incredible slow speed handling characteristics of the F-18 Super Hornet. Sometimes the aircraft with the ability to fly the slowest will have the most advantageous tactical advantage in a combat arena, thus allowing the aircraft to force the adversary out in front of it and into a defensive position. Few other aircraft in the world would attempt to maneuver at this slow speed and nose attitude. The 40,000-pound F-18 Super Hornet remains completely controllable at less than 100 miles per hour, with 2 digital flight control computers aiding the aircrew in its capability. Ladies and gentlemen, from the right, the high alpha pass. As you can see, Lieutenant Single is currently slowing down to airspeed of nearly 100 miles per hour.
Wow.
Now at this time, that rumbling noise is Lieutenant Single cracking the afterburners and getting set up for the split S maneuver. He'll climb up to an altitude of 3,000 feet and then roll the aircraft inverted to set up for the next maneuver. Now, as the Rhino approaches from the left, the aircrew will demonstrate the incredible pitch authority of the Super Hornet. Approaching SO center, Lieutenant Single will roll the aircraft into a 90-degree angle of bank and abruptly pull away from the crowd, showcasing the Rhino's ability to change direction quickly. Lieutenant Stengel is now setting up for a touch-and-go landing. As he circles to land, he'll ensure that his gear is locked down into the down position and his flaps extend to enhance the lift at the slower airspeed required for landing. Once lined up with the runway, or in the groove as we call it in the Navy, he'll slow to on-speed angle of attack, which is how the Navy tailhook aircraft determine their landing speed. This on-speed AOA correctly positions the aircraft hook to engage a wire aboard nuclear aircraft carriers at sea. General on-speed approaches that we use to land aboard an aircraft carrier are roughly around 130 miles per hour. Once landing aboard the aircraft carrier, we slow to 0 miles per hour within 2 seconds. As Lieutenant Stengel is now touched down, he's going to bring the throttles back up to get airborne again. Watch as the aircraft accelerates only a few feet above the ground to reach its minimum vertical airspeed. We use this minimum vertical airspeed to quickly climb out of forward deployed airbase or to expeditiously get to altitude and out of surface-to-air missile threat. Watch how Lieutenant Stengel pulls back on the stick and pulls the aircraft to a nearly vertical attitude. Lieutenant Stengel is going to come around the back of the show line in order to get set up for the photo pass, so get your cameras ready. Expect him to come from the right to the left for the photo pass.
Great.
Currently, Lieutenant Stengel is accelerating to between 400 and 0.95 indicated Mach to get set up. He'll be coming through the photo pass with a 90-degree knife edge bite along the show line to give you full plan form of the aircraft to take your photos. From the right, the photo pass. The job of a naval aviator is not complete until the aircraft is back aboard its floating home. Landing aboard a tiny moving runway in the middle of the ocean is a skill that has been continuously perfected throughout naval aviation history. The approach to the carrier is often the most dangerous part of naval aviators' mission. Again, landing your aircraft at 130 miles per hour on a few hundred feet of a floating steel is extremely challenging and a great matter of pride. Ladies and gentlemen, watch as Lieutenant Stengel approaches from the left for the carrier brake to the full stop landing. The Super Hornet you saw here today is one actually used by Strike Fighter Squadron 122 to train pilots and weapons systems officers at Naval Air Station Lemoore, California. Lieutenant Stengel and I currently serve as instructors at VFA 122 and spend most of our time teaching new pilots and weapons systems officers how to employ the Super Hornet. We spend the remainder of our time perfecting our routine that you've now seen here today. Currently, there are over 24 Super Hornet squadrons in the Navy, some of which at this moment flying in support of combat operations overseas. Ladies and gentlemen, a special thank you goes out to all the maintenance crew from both Lemoore and El Centro that have helped support us to be here today. It takes many dedicated and talented young men and women and countless hours to maintain, fix, and fly these machines. There are currently over 700 maintenance personnel in VFA 122 whose tireless efforts allow us to accomplish our mission. Without their efforts, we would not be able to conduct the business we do on a daily basis. On behalf of the United States Navy and the West Coast Rhino Demo Team. I would like to thank you for allowing us to demonstrate the F-18 Super Hornet here at NAF El Centro.
And if you're just joining us, we just finished up a great tactical demo provided by our neighbors up in Northern California. Quite an incredible thing. You have to make yourself do that every day. Is that right, sir?
Yeah, to be good and really on our numbers every single day to the point that makes it safe and predictable, those are the two main things that we care most about. And then to hit our numbers within plus or minus 50 feet and plus or minus 10 knots, you have to constantly be doing this on a daily basis to hone the skills. We're not nowhere near, what a Blue Angel would be, but we try to strive to be the best that we can be with the assets that we are provided, and also to give a great show to everybody out here and get them excited about what the Navy can provide and get people interested in doing what we do on a daily basis.
We're talking with the narrator of the show today, Hog Sweat. Mateo, how is your name pronounced?
It's Mateo Mazzetti.
Mateo. Okay, Mazzetti.
Yes.
Oh, right. Don't they make good peppers or chili peppers or something like that?
Yeah, it's spaghetti, Mazzetti. That was a call sign that got thrown around because it rhymes. So that was fun for a while.
Well, you have a tough job. I'm sure there's just lots of boredom. I'm kidding, really, if you just joined us.
So bored all the time.
Yeah, absolutely. Have a great, hope you stay with us for the rest of the show. The Festival of Flight that you joined, if you're just coming on right now, is the new thing, the new brand for the air show here at NAF El Centro. So, Mateo, we thank you very much for visiting with us today.
And we really appreciate you having us here today, and we couldn't be more thankful, so thank you.
I'm going to pass this actually over here to, if you don't mind going that way. Have our friend here, the Public Affairs Officer, back with us again. It looks like we have more guests. This is maybe a representative of the United States Air Force. Would I need to know?
No, Gene. I brought with me an actual helicopter pilot who's going to talk to us about some of the things that we saw earlier today. With us, I'd like to introduce Lieutenant Jess Grupp, call sign Judy, and she's going to be able to chat with you for a few minutes about helicopters, about aviation, naval helicopters, why they come out here to the Imperial Valley. She can talk about some of the different missions that the helicopters do, and I thought you'd like to meet this wonderful woman.
Wow, thank you so much, Chris. I'm going to take this microphone over. Jess Grupp, is that right?
Yes, correct. Jess Grupp, yes, sir.
Jess Grupp, welcome to the Imperial County. Welcome to NAF El Centro and the inauguration of the Festival of Flight.
Yeah, thank you.
You're one of those people that have fun flying helicopters.
I am. Right? I do get the pleasure of flying the helicopter. Super fun to fly. So, yeah, we're very grateful to be here.
And you branch of the military?
I'm in the Navy.
You are Navy.
Yep,
okay,
yes,
that's
sir.
what I thought, but I didn't want to.
They kind of all look the same. All green flight suits.
So, how long have you been flying the helicopter?
So, I've been in the Navy 11 years, or 10 years, and pretty much started flying helicopters right at the infancy of flight school, so about 9 years now.
Good for you. Were you flying the helo that we saw today?
I was not. So there's two types of Navy helicopters. There's the Navy 60 Sierra and then the Navy 60 Romeo. They're both kind of same type of helicopter as the Black Hawk, but the Sierra does more logistics, spec ops support, search and rescue, and the Romeo is more anti-submarine and anti-surface. So we're just here today to support the search and rescue mission, just in case, anything happens, we'll be there to pick up the pilots. So we're just on standby right now.
So where's home for you?
NAS North Island in Coronado, San Diego.
Coronado,
yeah, not a bad place to be.
Long ways from home.
Yeah.
Beautiful area there, especially for us in the summertime when we try to get out of here.
Oh yeah, I heard it gets a little hot here.
Yeah, a little as an understatement,
yeah.
so to speak. So have you been on the base before here?
I have not. This is my first time. Yeah, it's been great. I've landed at Imperial once, but yeah, that was about it. So this is first time landing here, first time being on the base, and yeah, I love it. Everyone's been so nice.
When you contemplated to be a pilot for the helicopter, that was, you've been how many years? 11 years?
Oh,
You've been doing what you're doing about the last 7 or 8?
But yeah, 9 years. Yep.
You're probably from a small group. I mean, there's a lot of ladies now in the military, but helicopter pilots, as you start to stack the cards down, probably they're a small group. Am I wrong on that?
Yes, sir. Yeah, there's probably right now in our squadron there's about 35 to 40 pilots, and there's probably about anywhere from 5 to 8 females out of those 35 to 40. So starting to slowly grow.
Yeah, I was going to say you probably are starting to see growth and whatnot as well.
Yes, sir.
So if there's somebody out there listening right now as we speak, and they're hearing you as a lady talk about a pilot of a helo, what would you tell them?
Oh man, I would say that you can really. For me, I was always raised that you can do whatever you set your mind to, and I played soccer in all boys soccer team growing up. Went to the Naval Academy, so always was around that camaraderie, and just especially at the helicopter, I love it. Not only the mission set of like helping people, but also just the crew concept. Being a former soccer player, it takes everyone. It takes the 2 pilots, the 2 air crewmen in the back, and I'm just super fortunate to fly it and work with such an amazing squadron.
The first time that you got in the pilot's seat, I guess, is the right reference?
Yep.
Did you feel a little pressure or excitement? Or?
First time that you have to start out when you are going through flight school, everyone here starts off in what's called primary. So you have 6 months flying a single prop plane, and then after that they put you into jets or helos or P8s, P3s. So we went to helicopters, and flying a plane for 6 months and then flying an aircraft that can literally move any direction was pretty difficult. I remember my instructor being like, I will give you $100 if you can stay within this 4x4 box, and I could not. It was pretty hard understanding how a helicopter can go backwards and sideways when you're used to a plane just going forward. So yeah, it was definitely a learning curve.
Yeah, so you had to change your way of thinking.
Yep,
so
exactly. Yes, sir.
So has it ended up to be everything that you thought it would be?
Yeah, it's been amazing. I mean, I was stationed in Japan for 3 years, got to see all of Southeast Asia, and now I'm back in beautiful San Diego. I get to come out here to see the air show, and it's been such an amazing opportunity. I just work with the most incredible maintainers and pilots, and I'm super, super fortunate.
Well, people in the military really feel welcome here. I can say this because I live here. And people here really welcome the military. They say that noise they hear is the sound of freedom. I say that over and over again because it's true.
Yeah.
And I know the base captains that come here, they say, wow, this is what a great assignment.
Yeah.
So, you're welcome here.
Thank you. Yeah, we've had nothing but positive things on our experience here. We got here Thursday, and we're going to be sad to go on Sunday.
Yeah, headed back. Tough assignment, like I said.
back over to Coronado. I know, tough to be there.
So what do you look to now in the future for your career?
So for me, I'm in my 3rd tour now. So again, my first tour was out in Japan. And then I was an instructor also in San Diego, and then now I'm the training officer. So I basically am in charge of teaching tactics and making sure all our pilots are up to the tactic standardization. And so next will be my department head tour. So I'll put on 04, hopefully, go up in rank, and then so on from there. It's you work right up to 05 and skipper and all that stuff. So.
Wow. Yeah, you got a tough assignment. Sounds great.
Roll tough.
Well, I'm speaking with Jessgrup, who Judy has her real name. Yeah, I meet a lot of people for the first time here, so I apologize. I did not see the name Judy. But Judy, we want to say thank you for being so kind to talk to us about flying a helicopter.
Thank you.
Is there anything we're missing?
No, that's it. Thank you so much, and thank you again for having us.
Oh, you're more than welcome. Have a great day out here. Enjoy the rest of the show and the Festival of Flight, as we will now refer to the show.
Yeah, love it.
All right.
Thank you.
Thank you so much, Judy. Thank you. All right. We're just, we've got all kinds of people here to talk to. I think we have some representatives of the Air Force over here. The Thunderbolt, you're going to probably fly an A-10. Yeah, boy, wait till you see this, ladies and gentlemen.
So we've got the Warthog is already in the air. I think we've got the narrator here of the Thunderbolt. Yeah, I can hear it. There it is. In moments here, we'll have the narrator of the Warthog. Are you there? Okay, it's here. Oh, okay. Oh, no, yeah. Oh, yeah.
Got 3.4 on the gas balance. Showing winds about the same. Got them 2.45 and 20 right now.
Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. On behalf of the United States Air Force, the commander of Air Combat Command, General Mark Kelly, and all the men and women of Air Combat Command, we welcome you to the NAF El Centro Air Show. I'm the A-10 Demo Team's NCOIC, Technical Sergeant Brian Pontes from San Leandro, California. Joining me is our safety officer and combat-ready attack pilot, Captain Lindsey Johnson, call sign Lil, from Satellite Beach, Florida. As a member of Air Combat Command's 355th Wing, located at Davis-Monthan Air Force Base in the sunny Tucson, Arizona, it is my pleasure to describe for you a capability demonstration by the heavily feared and effective Coast Air Support aircraft, the A-10 Thunderbolt II. Our mission is to provide the close air support needed for our Army, Marines, Navy, and all allied ground forces so they can operate anywhere, anytime. Since 9/11, the United States Air Force has provided over 900,000 air missions in support of today's joint fight. The A-10 demonstration pilot is Captain Hayden Fulham, call sign Gator, from Rising Fawn, Georgia. Since commissioning through ROTC in 2012, Captain Fulham has become a veteran instructor pilot with over 1,500 hours in the A-10, including 92 combat missions, amassing 500 flight hours, supporting American and coalition ground forces in the skies of Iraq, Afghanistan, and Syria. Our phenomenal maintenance team assisting in today's demonstration from Tucson, Louisiana, Staff Sergeant Noah Kinsel. From Lawrenceville, Georgia, Senior Airman Robert Benson. And from Harrisville, New York, Senior Airman Caleb Spencer. And joining us from Public Affairs, Staff Sergeant Sergio Gamboa from Tucson, Arizona. Because of its toughness, tenacity, and devastating good looks, the people who know it best, the pilots who fly it, and the mechanics who maintain it have unofficially dubbed it the Warthog. There are over 280 A-10s still in service today, operated by Air Combat Command, Pacific Air Forces, the Air National Guard, and Air Force Reserve. Ladies and gentlemen, to your right, Captain Fulham in the A-10 Thunderbolt II. Captain Fulham pulls back on the stick, sending the A-10 straight into the vertical, showcasing the Hog's power and maneuverability in all attitudes of flight. Captain Fulham is now positioning the A-10 for a pass down the show line, where he will perform a double aileron roll. During this maneuver, the Hog will roll at 200 degrees per second. From the left, the Gator roll. Captain Fulham is now preparing to demonstrate a slow roll along the show line to display the Hog's precise handling characteristics. As he rolls, you will notice a heritage jungle paint scheme inspired by the F-105 Thunder Chief, operated by the 355th Tactical Fighter Wing during the Vietnam War. Known as the Thud,
F-105s were the dominant attack aircraft during the war. And now, from the right, the slow roll. Captain Fulham is now executing a classic aerobatic maneuver, the Cuban 8. It's the A-10's remarkable maneuverability that enables it to perform its close air support mission. Twisting and turning low over the battlefield, the Warthog can operate and deliver devastating firepower under a 1,000-foot ceiling, unmatched by any comparable fighter. The A-10's turbofan engines add more than just power to its performance. They're much quieter than comparable engines, making the Warthog much harder to hear and aiding immensely in achieving tactical surprise. The Hog's engines are also extremely fuel efficient, enabling it to fly more than 1,000 miles without refueling. Add in-flight refueling, and the Warthog can fly nonstop to Europe, the Pacific, and the Middle East. Captain Fulham is now repositioning his aircraft to perform a level 360-degree high G turn. It's the A-10's quick turn rate and small turn radius which enable it to work effectively over the battlefield, even under marginal weather conditions. Captain Fulham just completed that turn in only 1,400 feet. This is less than the size of an average NASCAR racetrack at well over twice the speed of any driver. On the battlefield, this capability enables the Warthog to turn quickly and evade enemy air defense. Captain Fulham is now configuring his aircraft to demonstrate the A-10's slow speed controllability at its final approach speed of 120 knots. Get your cameras ready. This slow-speed pass will give you a good chance to see the A-10's high bypass engine and unique tail design. These distinct features help mask the engine heat signature, aiding the pilot to defeat infrared missiles. Let's go to the cockpit of the A-10 and hear what Captain Fulham has to say.
Hey, good morning, everybody. On behalf of the A-10 demo team, I'd just like to thank everyone here at NAF El Centro for putting off such a great event and inviting us out to start off our air show season here. And I'd like to do a special shout out to everybody I'm seeing along the fence lines out there watching the show. Appreciate you guys being out here and supporting. Attack.
Don't put those cameras down yet. The A-10 is the premier close air support aircraft supporting our ground forces engaged with the enemy. Listen now as we pass Captain Fulham a close air support target brief, known simply as a 9-line. This will demonstrate the Hog's ability to find, target, and engage enemy forces with the A-10's weapon of choice, the ground-pounding Gal-8 Avenger 30mm Gatling gun. Firing 70 rounds per second, its huge projectile delivers 7 times the destructive energy than the more conventional 20mm round. Bud 1, call ready 9-line.
Good, ready.
This will be a Type 2 bomb on target. 123 from your hold. Elevation -42 feet. Enemy personnel in the open. At show center. No mark. Friendly. Southwest. 150 meters. Egress back to your hold. Remarks restrictions. Northwest with guns. Ready readback.
Good, 1 readback, Nick. -42 feet. At show center. Looking for in from the northwest with guns.
Bud 1, good readback. Push 1 ready.
Good, thank you, now. Stud 1, up and in.
Stud 1, continue. Stud 1, cleared hot. It will now take Captain Fulham about 30 seconds to get back into firing position. With two hogs working together, enemy forces could be under A-10 fire once every 10 to 15 seconds. Captain Fulham is now climbing up for his final attack, where he will simulate dropping 500-pound bombs. These general-purpose bombs are useful for cratering airfields or destroying buildings, adding versatility to the Hog's arsenal of weapons. Captain Fulham is now performing a jink-out maneuver. This continuously changing three-dimensional maneuver makes it very difficult for enemy anti-aircraft gunners to track the A-10. The Warthog was built to withstand significant battle damage while having the capability to fly on a single engine and a total loss of hydraulic power. The A-10 has a well-earned reputation for strength and striking power, a reputation earned in multiple deployments where Hogs destroyed numerous enemy armored vehicles, artillery sites, Scud missiles, and was even credited with 2 air-to-air kills. Today, the upgraded A-10C continues to set the standard for supporting Allied forces in today's fight. Now, from the right, Captain Fulham in a 4-point roll, displaying the crisp handling characteristics of the A-10. Ladies and gentlemen, Captain Fulham is now repositioning the A-10 for the dedication pass. We would like to dedicate this pass to the men and women of the armed forces, their families, and all veterans in attendance today. Our heritage paint scheme is in remembrance of those prisoners of war missing in action, and ultimately the 1,585 service members who still have not returned home from Southeast Asia. From behind and to your right, A-10 Demo proudly presents the dedication pass. Once again, we salute all those fighting in today's joint fight and any wounded warriors and veterans in attendance today. We especially want to thank those who have given their lives in defense of this great country and all of their families, which have sacrificed so much. The United States Air Force's Air Combat Command provides essential combat air support capability for today's joint fight. The A-10 has consistently demonstrated its ability to fly more than 4 sorties per day, a tribute to the skill and dedication of our magnificent maintenance crew. Ladies and gentlemen, let's give a hand to all our outstanding maintainers and all of those service members keeping our aircraft fit to fight. We hope you have enjoyed this brief display of only a fraction of the A-10's full combat capabilities. As an integral part of the most capable Air Force the world has ever known, your A-10 Warthogs are ready to defend our nation's skies and dominate the battle space anywhere on the globe. Ready to aim high, fly, fight, and win. In the past year alone, your United States Air Force flew over 510,000 hours supporting operations in Iraq, Afghanistan, and Syria. As proud members of an all-volunteer Air Force, we hope our performance has inspired you to serve your country alongside the professional men and women you see in action here today. If you are interested in joining from today's premier aerospace team, then find any amazing warrior of the United States Air Force. Any of these amazing airmen will answer any questions you have and help you set your course for an amazing career. Don't forget to tag us at A10 Demo Team on all your Instagram, Twitter, and Facebook posts. And on behalf of the United States Air Force, the Commander of Air Combat Command, General Mark Kelly, and all the men and women of Air Combat Command, thank you for watching, thank you for listening, and thank you for your support.
Just finished the narration for the and Warthog. What an incredible plane. We want to say thank you to the United States Air Force for making it possible to have their participation today. Back with an old friend of mine now. You know, Chris Haw, who is the public affairs officer here. Chris, I want to give you this. I guess it would be difficult to try to talk without it.
Exactly. I didn't want to get that quite close to you, Gene, right now. I know we're practicing COVID mitigation measures, hence the reason today for the on-air show, the Festival of Flight being the way it is today as we practice those COVID mitigation measures. It's been a tremendous event so far, hasn't it? We've seen 2 different aircraft, 3 if you count the helicopter. We've heard from some amazing people in our military today, and we still have the Thunderbirds going up here at 2:30, and I've got another person coming up here shortly. We're going to be able to talk to an A-10 pilot about what her experiences are like. She's a fully capable pilot, and it'll be interesting to talk to her. It feels like the wind has died down, and that's good. I know this morning we had a really rocky start.
We had a challenge, but we waded through it with flying colors.
Absolutely. And I'm so thankful for the men and women and the families of the Imperial Valley for helping us out with the Festival of Flight, for being being part of our experience. And we hope this year you've been able to enjoy watching the Festival of Flight on the air, which is something we've never done before.
Very historical, as they say. And wanted to say a shout out to a mutual friend of yours and I's, Robert Amparano, who is out in the Superstition Mountains as we speak right now. Robert, thanks for your shout out. I hope you're enjoying the show. And tell everybody you see all about the Festival of Flight, because that's the new name, and be back next year, I understand.
Absolutely. Hopefully next year we'll be able to open the gates to the public, welcome 10 to 20,000 of our closest friends on here. But right now, we have Captain Johnson from the United States Air Force, who's going to talk to us a little bit more about the A-10, I almost said helicopter, aircraft.
A-10, yes. Lil, is that how your name is pronounced? Lil Johnson?
Yes, sir. That's my call sign, Lindsay Lil Johnson.
Okay. And you are a pilot as well. You fly the which plane?
Yes, sir. I also fly the A-10 with
A-10. Okay. What an awesome looking aircraft, the A-10 Warthog. It looks mean.
I'm obviously a little biased. We always say it's not a very good looking airplane. Everybody calls it pretty ugly, but it does the job pretty well.
Well, it certainly does. I remember the first time I saw the Warthog, and I thought of the word mean. And, of course, they do an incredible job for the military when they need that kind of they're there.
Yes, sir. So I joined the Air Force solely because my dad was in the Army, and everybody's always talked about how much they love the A-10 because it protects the guys on the ground. So I wanted to be flying the A-10, helping everybody out there on the ground.
Wow. And so was that what brought you into the military?
Yes, sir. So my dad, actually, he has his own civilian license flying. He's got about 1,500 hours. And when I was 10 years old, he used to have his own Cessna that he took me up in. And that was basically where I got the itch for flying. Found out about the academies and went to the Air Force Academy in Colorado Springs. And that's where I got my commission in the Air Force.
Lil, of course, has been, how many years you've been in the Air Force?
I graduated from the Air Force Academy in 2014, so we're coming up on 7 years now.
All right.
It's pretty crazy.
How long have you been in the pilots?
So I graduated pilot training in 2016, August of 2016, and I became a certified A-10 pilot in August of 2018.
Wow. So it's a process to go through. There's a heck of a commitment there. And what a neat thing to watch as the participation in the military for women continues to grow and expand. And you're one of those examples, I would say, today.
Yes,
I've talked to at least two others, and yourself, that are ladies that are pilots in the military. So you're in that growing group.
It's awesome to see. We've, in the A-10 community, we're pretty blessed to have a good amount of women that are all qualified A-10 pilots or just now starting up. I have one other female that's in my squadron right now. And when I actually deployed, I deployed with Gator, who's the demonstration pilot. We went to Afghanistan it was July of 2019. We came back in February of 2020. And we had 4 females that were deployed together, which was a really awesome experience to have that camaraderie in a deployed environment.
Wow. I mean, I can't imagine what would go through my mind if the night before my solo flight in a Warthog, that I wouldn't have a little heart flutter and maybe a little, nervousness. Did you experience any of that?
I did, and I tell people a story because it's pretty funny. So we step with a lot of gear when we go to fly, especially having an ejection seat aircraft. I was so excited, so nervous, I stepped to the aircraft without my harness on and didn't realize until I got into the airplane to go strap in, and I was like, oh, man, I probably should go get that. So my ground off took a little bit longer, and I definitely was a little bit out of breath by the time I finally got the airplane started.
Wow.
But the fight still went well. So
it still went well. I was just going to say, it was not a negative reflection on your first flight. It was a good one.
Yeah, it worked out. We got it done. We only have 6 sims, actually, in the A-10 before we get to go fly for the first time. So definitely a slower one compared to the other fighter aircraft. But.
Well, as a lady in the Air Force, what would you say to some young lady right now that's listening and to encourage them to sign up to be a pilot, to be an A-10 pilot?
For any female that's out there, no matter your age, even if you're 5, 10, if you're 18, the sky is the limit. And as we've continued to see as the years have gone on, that we are continuing to see women that are breaking that glass ceiling. So fight for what you want to go do, and just continue to work hard every day and set those goals for yourself, and you can go and do anything that you want to do.
Well said. Well said. Thank you so much for your comments, and we encourage you to enjoy the rest of the show.
Thank you, sir. I appreciate it. Hopefully we'll be out here next year and attack.
All right. Bill Johnson, the United States Air Force pilot for the A-10 Warhawk, a incredible plane. Thank you very much, though. We're going right with another, now this gentleman here, he's old friends now. Petty Officer Acosta, we spoke with earlier this afternoon about a career in the military, of course. Petty Officer Acosta is in the United States Navy.
Yes, sir.
Your real outreach is you are you're in the sciences, nuclear power, right?
That is correct, sir. Nuclear power.
Isn't that a field that, I know it was this way a couple of years ago. They were desperate to get more and more people to sign up for that type of thing. And were you one of those?
In fact, I was, sir. It's one of our
the Navy's most elite programs. You know, you've got the SEALs, but when it comes to the smarts, then you've got the nuclear power technicians. So I think it's a really good program if you're interested in the math and sciences when you're going through school. You know, take all those classes, your physics, your calculus, your algebra, do well in those courses. And when you talk with the Navy recruiter, they'll be able to get you on a practice test, you know, see if they can get you on in that program. But, you know, nuclear power is an amazing thing that we've been using for over 50 years. And the Navy is the one that's been using it on ships with 0 reactor accidents in that time frame. So it's an amazing thing.
Wow. I was just going to say, percentage-wise, and you hit the nail on the head. 0 issues at all whatsoever. So if a person, what about if a person wants to be maybe a member of an organization for young men and women that are considering a career in the military, like the Navy, that are on campus in their high school or something? Is that one way that they can familiarize themselves and get prepared to go on to expand their career?
There's always a local Navy recruiter that covers the region, and you'll want to reach out to them. But it's great. As soon as you're in high school, you should already be talking to your Navy recruiter if you're just considering the idea of the military and joining the Navy. You know, I spoke with people that were sophomores, and over my years, I would continue to stay in touch with them as you're going out to a junior. Once you hit your senior year, you can actually sign up, and that's exactly what I did when I was going through high school. Halfway through my senior year, I got in touch with my recruiter and then enlisted and got my contract. But I didn't even ship out until after summer, after I'd already graduated.
Wow. Wow. Well, you certainly have a great support system, great motivation for a person that's considering it to take advantage of that information, that like what you're sharing with me right now, and go for it. You know, we interviewed several sisters in the military, if you will, today, and they've been drawn for a different but similar reason, and more power to you. I tell, when I speak at career days, I tell a lot of people, men and women, consider the military as your option for a career. And I don't know if there's a resurgence in the popularity of that or what. It seems to me that there is an interest, a bigger interest.
Yeah, there's a lot of people seeking to find college opportunities out there, and the Navy has got multiple avenues to be able to get people through college. You know, if you're in high school and you're looking to go directly into college, there's programs like the NROTC scholarship that you can apply for. It will actually pay for your college. And then following that, you'll go in to the military in the Navy to become a Navy officer, which is actually another good program. But if you do enlist, you'll actually get a post-9/11 GI Bill, now the Forever GI Bill, which will pay for up to 36 months of school, full tuition, and they do a housing allowance attached with that, and a book stipend.
Yeah, that's great. My baby brother is he's retired now, but he was a Navy officer. He went all through the system, got his education, ended up with his BA and his master's, and now he's retired, but he works on the other side of the desk. Instead of being in the military, he works in the private sector, but with military people. And it's been a great marriage, if you will, for him. So he's a real familiar, being my brother, familiar testimony to how incredible those programs can be. I remember when he had to come home and have his my parents sign for him because of his age, and you know, but that first summer after that, he went to a summer exercise, which he got credit for, and then he would go back to high school. You know, I'm trying to think. There's a term that they use for that, but it's great that it really helped him and it accelerated his growth in the Navy. Well, I want to say thank you, Petty Officer Costa. Are we missing anything that we needed to touch on? I mean,
no, if you're just interested in getting in touch with a Navy recruiter, other than finding your local Navy recruiting station, you can go online to Navy.com. You can also follow us on Instagram at NRC, as well as NRC Recruiting, as well as at NTAG Southwest, which would be NTAGSW.
Sir, I want to say thank you for your input, and enjoy the rest of the show.
Thank you for the opportunity.
More than welcome. Petty Officer Costa coming all the way to you from San Diego. Great assignment. We're going to find Chris Haw here, who's the Public Affairs Officer for the base. We're going to pick his brain here for a minute. Yeah, did you hear that, Chris? I said I was going to pick your brain, and Carroll said it won't take long.
That I can, but you know what? Right next to me is Jeremy Dowdy, the Executive Officer of NAF El Centro, and I thought you might want to chat with him for just a second.
I would love to do that.
My brain cells if you want.
Okay, that sounds good. Jeremy had a chance off the microphone to visit with you earlier. We got to know each other quite well the number of years that we worked together with Freedom Fest. And I'm going to miss you, brother. You have been a great asset to NAF El Centro.
Yeah, Gene, I'm going to miss you as well. This tour has been just phenomenal. I think I mentioned it was my 8th, 9th, 10th move here in the United States Navy out to the Imperial Valley. And what a warm welcome, both figuratively and literally, I got. and just the amount the Valley personnel embrace the base, treat us all as if we're natives, that we've been here forever. The relationship we have is just phenomenal, and I'm truly going to miss the Imperial Valley as the Navy moves me for my 11th time.
Wow, 11th time. I remember the first conversation you and I had about the NAF El Centro, and you knew there was something special about this place. For us, we've been here so long, we hear that comment over and over again. So many of the COs that come and go, they say, wow, this is one of the best assignments I've had. You are going to Florida, I think it is. Is that what you said?
Yeah, next tour I'm going to be another installation executive officer at Naval Air Station Whitingfield, which is another unique opportunity for me, because here at El Centro, you see the orange and white T-45 Goshawk jet trainers. Well, there at NAS Whitingfield are the orange and white helicopter trainers, the TH-57 Jet Rangers. So back from the training squadrons that come out here to a station where they're permanently assigned for training there.
You know, I'm sure we could make arrangements to sponsor a junket for you to come back from Florida in August.
Well, I'll think about that, but I think the summers there on the Gulf Coast are going to be a little more pleasant, although humid, yes.
I was going to say, you're going to run into that humidity. I've had I guess it's the pleasure of being in that area one summer for some schooling. And I thought, man, I'd been to every place that was humid, but Florida topped it all. But Jeremy, seriously, you have been a great friend, and we want to wish you the very best in your career. You had already answered the question, are you going to continue? And you said, yeah, I'm going for another assignment. Your family, of course, they got involved in the Valley. I see you and them together at different functions and whatnot. So I believe when you say you're going to miss this place.
Yeah, absolutely. I've built some great relationships that I will continue to maintain for a lifetime upon leaving here. And I built a really good rapport with the Blue Angels XO and leadership. And I might just hop on one of their NALO flights over the next 3 winters and come say hi back to El Centro, the old stomping ground, if they'll give me a ride. Because their home station is back there at NAS Pensacola on the Gulf Coast as well.
Well, you got to do that if that works out your way, and be sure and give us a holler. I know my wife asked today, you think you'll see Jeremy? And I said, yeah, I think maybe I will. So, but good luck, Jeremy, and thanks so much for all your help.
And thank you, Gene.
All right, Jeremy, Dwighty is the XO here at the base, and back with me, I'm going to hand you this microphone. I'm wired for sound already. We've got the Public Affairs Officer, Chris Haw.
Gene, it is great to be back with you, and I am loving this afternoon, and I hope the Imperial Valley is enjoying the production we have done today.
I certainly hope so, Chris. I have that good feeling. But I might be prejudiced too, you know.
Exactly. Anytime you can get out with some friends and watch some flying in the valley, I think that's a great day.
That it is.
Just a little breezy, but not anything we're not used to already here in the Imperial Valley.
No. Well, and what did you say? Oh, it's fair time.
It's fair time. I remember every year going to the fair on the Friday night when it opens. That's my traditional night for going. That's the night where they do the Veterans Recognition Night, and I'd like to take advantage of that evening. And it's always breezy, and I started thinking back to all the years I've been here now that the week of the fair is windy, sometimes rainy, and we all call it the fair weather.
Yeah, that's right, fair weather, and sometimes it just is that way. I mean, I can remember some years that we thought we were going to get washed out for the air show, and then the next morning we had sunshine and it dried out. I do remember one year that it was I think we had to cut it.
Yeah, there was one year we were on the cusp of doing it, and I know one year that there was a cancellation. We try not to do that because we know how much this event means to the Imperial Valley, and we love putting it on for the community. In my 23 years of Navy, and then I retired here, this has been the most welcoming community I have ever seen. And I've visited 17 different countries. I've hit all 50 states. I've hit a bunch of different places. And the Imperial Valley is so unique in the way they treat us here. We are so welcome here. And I heard a couple of years ago a story about how the Imperial Valley, because our Brit compatriots come out here so often, that they've been integrated into the community. And I heard several of the people calling them our Brit, because that's a term, and that's a good feeling when you hear that.
Yeah. Well, every year when it would get about that time, the Brits seemed to come the same time every year. People would ask, "Hey, have you heard? Are the Brits here yet?" Or it was like they had some popularity thing or something, but they were, they were good neighbors.
Exactly.
And they supported the local economy here and whatnot.
Exactly.
And so people they look forward to their visit.
And I think it might be the accent.
Yeah.
That might have a little bit to do with
it certainly has to have something to do with it. That's for sure. So, Chris, you tell me that your wife has been listening to the inauguration of the Festival of Light that we're participating today, and she was very excited.
Absolutely. That's how I'm getting all of my status updates on how things are sounding. Robin has been texting me left and right about how everything sounds. She loves listening to the jet noise over the radio. I wasn't sure how that would translate because we're right underneath the jet noise. She told me it sounded fantastic. So she's been giving me a lot of feedback, and I invite anybody from the Valley to post on our Facebook page if they have anything going on, or tell us how they experienced it.
And we just received sign that we've got about a minute here before the Blues, I believe, get things underway.
All righty.
So if you want to stand by, we're going to get them hooked up for sound here. And we'll have the Blues in the air very shortly. Just making some final preparations here. This will be our finale for the Festival of Light. The fantastic Blue Angels are here on the tarmac, and we're just about to get underway. Never gets old to watch the Blues. Aerator will be starting
just momentarily, Gene, and we will be picking up his audio.
That's Carroll Buckley. If you didn't recognize his voice, he's been so quiet today. And he's going to get the Blue Angels all set to go here. Looks like, Carroll, that we see the pilots getting out of the van.
As you know, Gene, there's a great deal of choreography that goes with the Blue Angels performance.
Very much.
And part of it is what happens. But here is Lieutenant Bratton.
The squadron takes pleasure in performing. It's one of our many practice flight demonstrations of the 2021 season. I'm Lieutenant Julius Bratton, narrator for the Blue Angels. Since 1940, the unique... The precision techniques of naval aviation hoping to inspire a culture of excellence and service to country. The maneuvers you will see demonstrated here this afternoon are coordinated tactical techniques developed by Navy and Marine Corps pilots in both peacetime training and actual combat. These maneuvers are mere stunts, nor daring feats, but a refinement of basic techniques taught to every prospective naval aviator. Here at Naval Air Facility El Centro, we will demonstrate these maneuvers at very low altitude in traditional Blue Angel formation, so that you may see and take pride in the precise fashion in which your Navy and Marine Corps pilots are trained to fly. Now, direct your attention to the ramp before you. Observe the military manner in which the 5 demonstration pilots approach their aircraft and are saluted by their crew chief. Ladies and gentlemen, flying Blue Angel number 5, the lead solo from Reading, Pennsylvania, Commander Ben Walborn. Flying Blue Angel number 4, the SWAT pilot from Chesapeake, Virginia, Lieutenant Commander Jim Cox. Flying Blue Angel number 3, the left wingman from Kingwood, Texas, Major Frank Zascopo. Flying Blue Angel number 2, the right wingman from Canadian, Texas, Lieutenant Commander James Haley. Flying Blue Angel number 1, the commanding officer and flight leader of the Blue Angels from Fargo, North Dakota, Commander Brian Kessling. And our pilots, we invite you to follow the team on social media, including Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram. There you'll find exclusive photos and videos, as well as a behind-the-scenes look at our organization and how we operate. The Navy's Flight Demonstration Squadron, the Blue Angels, is the oldest performing U.S. military aviation demonstration team. Since 1946, the Blue Angels have brought naval aviation to men and women of all ages across America. We were first based at Naval Air Station Jacksonville, Florida, flying F-6F Hellcat. We continued flying Grumman Corporation aircraft for 22 years, transitioning in late 1946 to the more powerful and faster F-8F Bearcat. In 1950, we transitioned to jet aircraft with the straight-wing F-9F2 Panther, the predecessor of the swept-wing F-9F8 Cougar, which we received in 1955. In 1957, The Blue Angels became equipped with high-performance aircraft with the arrival of the supersonic F-11F Tiger. In 1969, we received the McDonnell Douglas F-4 Phantom and flew this supersonic jet until 1974 when we transitioned to the A-4 Skyhawk. In 1987, we acquired the F-18 Hornet and demonstrated its reliability over 34 show seasons. We are now in our first year of flying the combat-proven Boeing FA-18 Super Hornet. The pilots and crew chiefs will now start the General Electric engines that power the F-18. The noise level will soon become too high for you to hear a description of the checks they will be performing. However, please note that each aircraft was carefully inspected by expert Blue Angel maintenance personnel prior to this afternoon's aerial demonstration. The Blue Angels fly the Boeing FA-18 Super Hornet, a multi-mission strike fighter, versions of which have been in operation throughout the fleet since 2001.
Just to share with you the choreography of the ground team and the pilot is what is going on right now. The ground crews, the folks that maintain these aircraft, go through a very elaborate procedure as they get the Blue Angels ready to fly. And of course, we will see 5 of the Blues, the solo pilot in number 5, 1, 2, 3, and 4 that will fly the diamond formation that the Blues are so famous for. But they are just about ready to take to the air. And if I remember correctly, the number 5 jet, the solo pilot, will be the first to take off, and then the other 4 Blue Angels will follow. And of course, this year, the Blue Angels are flying the F-18 Super Hornet. It's their first year transitioning to the Super Hornet. They have been flying the F-18 Hornet. The Super Hornet is bigger, faster, better armed, more maneuverable. than its predecessor, and you will get the chance to see exactly what this aircraft can do, especially when it's in the hands of the world's finest pilots. So the crew chiefs in front of each of the aircraft, and when they get the all clear, we will see, there we go, the engines are fired up, the crew chiefs are moving off the runway or the taxiway, and when they are clear, we will see the number 5 solo pilot take off. As we mentioned, the choreography that goes on, there is a reason for it, and it's all part of the military tradition. Lieutenant Bratton is this year's narrator, and we can hear the aircraft revving up a little bit. I don't know for sure if the wind has died down, but it seems as though the wind has died down a bit because, gee, you don't notice the wind when you've got the Blue Angels. And I was wrong. The first plane to hit the taxiway is number 1, the squadron leader, and he will be followed in numerical sequence. I learned something I didn't know the other day when the numbers on the aircraft, yeah, they're peel and stick, so that if they need a backup aircraft, they're all ready to go, so they just slap on the number that they need. So from day to day, these pilots might be flying a different aircraft.
Perform here this afternoon. This degree of precision has been a trademark of the Blue Angels since first established 75 years ago. 17 officers and 140 enlisted personnel comprise the Navy's Flight Demonstration Squadron. Pilots 1 through 4 fly in the Diamond Formation, showcasing the precision flying required of Navy and Marine Corps aviators, while Blue Angel number 5 flies as a solo, demonstrating the maximum performance capability of the aircraft. Once again, I'm Lieutenant Julius Bratton from Woodlawn, Tennessee, Blue Angel number 7 and the narrator for the flight demonstration, as well as the pilot for the key influencer and media personnel we normally fly at each show site. Blue Angel number 8, Lieutenant Caitlin Forster from Scottsdale, Arizona, is the Squadron Naval Flight Officer and Events Coordinator. Commander Todd Royals from Willow Grove, Pennsylvania, serves as the Squadron Executive Officer. Our Marine Corps C-130 pilots are Major Rick Rose from Napa, California, Captain Austin Huckaba from Hoover, Alabama, and Captain Jackson Strife from Omaha, Nebraska. Lieutenant Brian Abe, our maintenance officer from Richardson, Texas, is responsible for the men, women, and equipment that keep our aircraft flying. From Juana Diaz, Puerto Rico, our assistant maintenance officer is Lieutenant Harry Cedinho. From Virginia Beach, Virginia, the Blue Angel Flight Surge is Lieutenant Monica Borza. From Sedalia, Missouri, our supply officer is Lieutenant Kristen Tolan. From Rochester Hills, Michigan, our public affairs officer is Lieutenant Chelsea Dietland. Our Boeing technical representatives are Mr. Jack Rao from Fort Worth, Texas, Mr. Todd Lawson from Tigard, Oregon, and Mr. Landy Harnishbeger from Nantucket, Massachusetts. Our financial management analysts are Mrs. Deborah Valentino from Hazard, New Jersey, and Mrs. Deborah Johnson from Pensacola, Florida. The 5 demonstration pilots are approaching the end of the runway to begin their takeoff sequence. Very shortly, Commander Kessler will call for the 4 Diamond pilots to take fingertip formation. In this formation, Blue Angel number 4, the slot pilot, will be positioned outboard of Blue Angel number 2 on the right wing. From there, They'll initiate their individual takeoff rolls and execute the Diamond Echelon Burner Go on takeoff. As the Diamond clears the flight line, the solo pilot will begin his takeoff maneuver. In a dynamic display of the thrust produced by these General Electric engines, Commander Walborn will roll Blue Angel number 5, 360 degrees immediately after takeoff with the landing gear still extended.
No pain, no victory. Your reign is history. 'Cause we're not stopping till we break through.
They're on the runway now, establishing fingertip formation. They'll accelerate their engines to 85% power, carefully check their engine instruments, and give Commander Kessling a thumbs up indicating they're ready to go. With a signal from each of his wingmen, Commander Kessling will call for the selection of afterburner, and the Blue Angel Diamond will initiate this afternoon's aerial demonstration. Accelerating to 150 miles per hour. Lieutenant Commander Cox will call for the landing gear and flaps to come up as they commence the Echelon Burner Go on takeoff.
So, update with us, Q40 and 18. We on the airfield and the airspace. You are clear for takeoff. Have a good one. Expo, hold, we're cleared for takeoff. Solo's ready to go, boss. We're cleared for takeoff. Going 240 and 18. At the left, headwind, check a marker, back off. Check a head, check a nose, wheel steering off. Maneuver, come on, burner, go. Left turn out. Right, down. 50, John is on 9. Let's start up for El Centro in the Imperial Valley. And we're up.
Oh, step right up. Who's next? You're not seeing the best. We're busting fire. Coming in like driving. Look out, we're striking. Ready, set.
Now, to the right. Commander Kessling calls. Off brake now. Burners ready now. And the Blue Angel Diamond is rolling. Back to the right. Blue Angel number 5 is rolling and will complete the dirty roll on takeoff. The Blue Angel Diamond will momentarily be making its approach from the right. In relatively slow-speed flight, they'll give you an opportunity to get a close look at the precision flying that produces the 18-inch wingtip to canopy separation between these four aircraft. From the right, the Blue Angel Diamond.
There's only one king, and there's only one crown, and there ain't enough coal for the gold on its own. It's got to go down. So you better start running. So you better start running. So you better start running.
The sensation of weightlessness or ballistic flight, similar to that experienced by astronauts in space, would now be felt by the solo pilot. Approaching center point, Commander Walborn will roll his aircraft to 90 degrees angle of bank and push forward on the stick as he performs the ninth edge pass.
Flicker out the bottle, have a good Lord intended it. Yes, it did. I love my country, I love my country. It's green hills from Kentucky. We keep it funky, we like how it sounds. Monday to Sunday, yeah, I love my country. Loud and proud, rolling in sound. Hanging out the window like a blue sea town. Ain't sorry, ain't nothing to be sorry about. I love my country, and I love my country alive. Barbecue, steak fry, styrofoam, plate bake.
The Diamond is approaching for a maneuver that is likely familiar to those of you who have seen the Blue Angels perform in the past. From the right, at 400 miles per hour, the Diamond roll, all four aircraft flying as one in this graceful 360-degree rolling maneuver. The solo pilot will next demonstrate the inverted flight capability of the F-18. Approaching inverted from the right, he will roll his aircraft 360 degrees, crossing over center point. Ladies and gentlemen, the inverted to inverted roll.
Brand new Lamborghini, cop car, with a pistol on my hip like I'm a cop. Whoever met her, I'm a rock star. If they love the trouble, it's a block. I got you meeting around that shit a week. You better let me go the day you need me. We'll be on that river, get butt. And if I ain't enough, go get the shot. It's safe to say I earned it, ain't a new. Gave me nothing. I'm ready to hop out on a new. Get the bus. Know you heard me say you play, you late. Don't make me push the butt. Full of pain. Dropping up tears, a bit of a song. I'm a bugger. I'm about to shop it. I got a bitch on the money. Going for nothing. I'm ready to air it out on it. Like to see I'm running. Starting my money. Leave me on FaceTime. Check my brother. Billy the baby. Know that the youngest.
To the left, the Diamond is setting up for their next maneuver. Approaching center point, on Commander Kesselring's command, all four pilots will simultaneously roll their aircraft 360 degrees as they perform the Diamond aileron roll. Here's Commander Kessellring.
Nobody runs from me. I'm always waking up. She started killing it. I kill another two. I let another produce from you. And you know that I'm going to see different than you. Let's go. Brand new Lamborghini, cop car.
Aircraft pilots and enthusiasts who appreciate the difficulties associated with carrier aviation will enjoy this next maneuver demonstrated by the solo pilot. To the right, Commander Walborn will establish himself in the inverted position. However, look closely as his aircraft is in a carrier landing configuration as he approaches for a maneuver we call the Ford. Marine Corps pilots who must land their aircraft on the small and sometimes pitching deck of an aircraft carrier at sea. Slow-speed flight is just as important as high-speed flight. In order to demonstrate the 30 slow-speed handling characteristics of the F-18, Commander Kessellring has called for the extension of the landing gear and tailhooks by the four Diamond pilots as they execute a maneuver performed by no other jet demonstration team in the world today. From the left, the Diamond, Dirty Luke.
Nothing can stop me. I'm all the way up. All the way up. All the way up. I'm all the way up. I'm all the way up. Nothing can stop me. I'm all the way up. Money, we ain't never played never leave. Counting up money, we ain't never played that. You got B12, I got 12 leaves. Got bottles, got need. Shorty, what you want? I got what you need. Shorty, what you want? I got what you need. I'm all the way up. I'm all the way up. I'm all the way up. All the way up. Nothing can stop me. I'm all the way up.
To the left, Commander Walborn is approaching to demonstrate the maximum performance turn radius of the F-18. He'll execute a 7.5 G afterburning turn and exit the flight line vertically, showcasing the Super Hornet's turbo nose-low capability. As the four Diamond pilots approach, once again, you should notice two significant modifications. While the wingman, Lieutenant Commander Haley, and Major Zaxville maintain minimum wingtip to canopy separation, the flight leader and slot pilot are both in the inverted position. From the right, the Blue Angel, double Marvel. Having performed a behind-the-crowd sweep, Voyage number 5 will complete the maneuver with a series of vertical rolls.
Can't stay in one place. Keep moving like a bullet, like a bullet train. Like a bullet train. Like a bullet train.
The four Diamond pilots are now stacked down and aft on a 45-degree bearing line to establish a right echelon formation. From the right, at 378 miles per hour, the Blue Angel Echelon Parade. Setting up for its next maneuver, Blue Angel number 5 is converging on center point to demonstrate the rapid roll rate of the F-18 fly-by-wire flight control system. Crossing center point, he'll complete 2 consecutive rolls, totaling 720 degrees. Ladies and gentlemen, the horizontal roll. Have established a left echelon formation. Approaching center point, Commander Kelsering will roll the formation 360 degrees into the 3 wingmen. Over the top, the 4 Diamond pilots will showcase their precision formation flying as they make a subtle modification while in the inverted position. Ladies and gentlemen, the Blue Angel changeover roll.
you better know. I'm the boo. I'm levitating. So lucky way. When I take it, yeah. I got you. Moonlight. You're my starlight. I need you all night. Come on, dance with me. I'm levitating you. Moonlight. You're my starlight. I need you all night. Come on, dance with me. I'm levitating.
I'm one of the greatest, ain't no debating on it. I'm still levitated, I'm heavily medicated. Ironic, I gave them love and they end up hating on me. She told me she loved me and she been wasting. Fighting hard for your love and I'm running thin on my face. Needing someone to hug, even took
As they exit to the right, you'll notice that the entire formation has shifted back into the Blue Angel Diamond.
Give me fuel, give me fire, give me towels I desire.
Now that Blue Angel number 5 has your attention, you have seen firsthand the ability of a tactical aircraft at high speed to sneak into a target area virtually undetected. Commander Walborn will complete his rendezvous with a diamond to the right. To the right, Commander Walborn has joined the diamond in a line of breath formation. Still maintaining minimum separation, the pilots must now align themselves by looking 90 degrees from their flight path towards Commander Kelserin's aircraft. They'll climb up through vertical, under heavy G, as they perform the very difficult 5-plane line of breath loop.
You again. Crowded streets seem healthy to me. In a town that never sleeps, without you lying next to me. All the phones and bass are strong, and on and on and on. Longer distances.
As they exit to the left, Commander Kelserin calls for another formation change prior to detaching Blue Angel number 5. You have seen several flight profiles of the F-18. The solo pilot will next demonstrate precision roll rate control. Approaching center point, he will roll his aircraft 360 degrees, pausing after each 90 degrees rotation, crossing center point in the inverted position, the 4-point hesitation roll.
Yeah, national underground, on the ground, when I jump the ground, like a million elephants, a silverback, orangutan, you can't stop the train. Who wants to don't come unprepared? I'll be there, but when I leave there, there'll be a household name. Brother man, tell us it ain't no rain. So now we sit in a drop top, so you wait. In the silver, try not to swing. Hit some of us with the net, but it's
from behind the crowd, the 4 diamond pilots are rolling out in trail formation for a dynamic separation maneuver. Crossing center point, they'll climb up through vertical and smoothly shift back into the Blue Angel Diamond. Ladies and gentlemen, the Blue Angel vertical break. Walborn is approaching to demonstrate the impressive pitch rate of the F-18. Crossing center point, he'll execute a max performance climb with a split S reversal, bringing his aircraft back over show center. In front of the crowd, Commander Kelsring is rolling out the diamond for their next maneuver, the barrel roll break. He'll pull up through vertical, roll the formation 90 degrees, and perform a split S, finishing with a dynamic separation maneuver. Perform an individual brake turn and exit the flight line in a separate direction. The Blue Angel barrel roll break.
Oh, no.
Approaching for parade path, flown at 500 miles per hour. Kelsring is rolling out the diamond formation for another dynamic maneuver, the low brake cross. Approaching center point, each pilot will perform an individual brake turn and exit the flight line in a separate direction. As each aircraft accelerates to 500 miles per hour, they'll perform a reversal turn back towards the flight line. You should be able to follow their individual smoke trails as all four aircraft converge on center point with maximum closure and minimum separation. Hello, right. Commander Walborn is approaching to demonstrate the slow-speed handling characteristics of the Super Hornet in the clean configuration. He'll pass before you, virtually standing Blue Angel number 5 on its tail. At less than 120 miles per hour, the fly-by-wire flight controls provide the slow-speed handling that sets the Super Hornet apart in the air-to-air combat arena. Ladies and gentlemen, the section High Alpha Pass. In front of the crowd to the left, the Diamond is rolling out to demonstrate the awesome power of these General Electric F414 engines. Let's listen as Commander Kelsring calls for the selection of afterburner by the 4 Diamond pilots. As they pass over center point, you will hear and feel the thunder of 8 engines producing 168,000 pounds of thrust.
But I'm thinking it's time to go.
Here we go.
My past will begin with a 1 or a 2. Been a hell of a ride, but I'm thinking it's time to grow. Man, I'm up to something. Woody-la-dee-do, thank you all for coming. I hope you like the show, cause it's on the budget. So woody-la-dee-do, yeah, come on, here we go, yeah, come on.
Here we go.
Everybody, everybody, come hang. Let's go out with the bang.
The Blue Angels, home based in Pensacola, Florida, completed an intensive winter training period at Naval Air Facility El Centro, California. The beautiful weather of the Imperial Valley provided us with the optimum conditions to fly each of the demonstration pilots on the 120 training flights necessary prior to our first public demonstration. Our show season opens on the 17th of April and runs through early November. The Blue Angels will perform 52 flight demonstrations while visiting 29 cities throughout the United States and Canada. The next portion of our flight demonstration will showcase all 5 aircraft flying together in formation. The Blue Angel Delta has been our signature 6-plane formation since 1958. Behind the crowd to the right, the solo pilot has joined the diamond to form the Blue Angel Delta. From the right, at 400 miles per hour, the Delta rolls. All 4 wingmen maintaining position as they roll 360 degrees over center point.
Can't live without you. I know I don't say it enough. Some days just breathing, just trying to break even. Sometimes you're hot, pounding out of your chest. Sometimes it's just feeling. Some days you just focus, but all you didn't give up. Some days you just get by. Yeah, some days you're just alive. Some days you're living like you never die. Blue's a little bluer up in the sky. Your high's a little high. You feel that fire you've been missing. Some days you're living. I don't see so clear. Some days you start thinking, and you don't need a reason. Sometimes the world's just right. Clear eyes ain't even blinking. Got a heart full of grateful.
As they exit to the left, Observance Commander Kessling brings the formation back towards the flight line. Very shortly, all 5 aircraft will be approaching for the Blue Angels, Lurley.
Some days you just get by. Yeah, some days you're just alive. Some days you're living. Some days you're living. Yeah. Living like you never die. Blue's a little bluer up in the
In an aerial salute to our 4 deployed forces, all 5 aircraft will separate, perform individual 360-degree rolls, and the 4 diamond pilots will rendezvous through a looping maneuver. From the left, at 450 miles per hour, the Blue Angels lure to lead. Let's listen in. As the solo pilot exits behind the crowd to the right, the 3 wingmen are the final stations of their rendezvous and will soon be back on the wings of Commander Kessling and Blue Angel number 1. With the Lurley rendezvous complete, the Diamond will pass before you and exit the flight line to the right. High and to the right, the solo pilot is rejoining the diamond for another Delta maneuver. As he rendezvous, observe as Commander Kessering executes a reversal turn, rolling out the formation for the Delta loop break cross. Vertical. Commander Kessering tilts his head back, picking up the flight line here at Naval Air Facility El Centro. Over the top, he's floating the formation to place them directly over show center. Now, watch closely as Commander Kessering calls. Hope on. Ready, break.
If you're working for the weekend, got fun to drive, you're deep in your baby's name is drinking. Your heart on your sleeve. If you play a strat, a captain, your dad's a fast assassin. You are the leather jacket, and you know what I mean. Yes, sir.
As each aircraft accelerates to 500 miles per hour, they'll perform a 1/2 Cuban 8 reversal turn. As they pull up and over the top, you should be able to follow their individual smoke trails as all 5 pilots simultaneously roll their aircraft 180 degrees and head back towards show center from 5 different directions. With a maximum airspeed and minimum separation, they'll converge on center point and cross with a combined cruiser rate of nearly 1,000 miles per hour.
Happy ever after in a very style. Rock and roll and deep in love and breaking in your face. My love ain't ever gonna go out of it. Very style. Very style. Very style. We're never gonna go out of it. Very style. You got your pride is thrown down and your sun is slow down. You don't forget your hometown when your safety, your dreams. It ain't the shoes, it's how you walk in them. Spring in your step and a hole in your denim. 3 pair of shades in your own kind of rhythm. That's all you need. Jalen, Sarah, Cleveland, Riders, Crackers, Red Cornet, Big Green Tractors. Happy ever after in a very style. Rock and roll and peace and love and breaking in your face. My love ain't ever gonna go out of the very style. American style, American style. We're never gonna go out of American style. Oh, whoa. Oh, yeah. Oh, whoa.
For a description of our maneuvers, as well as an in-depth look at our team and individual biographies, we invite you to visit our website and follow us on social media, including Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram.
You got your pride is slow down, and your sun is slow down. You don't forget your hometown when you're chasing your dreams. It ain't the shoes, it's how you walk in them. Spring in your step and a hole in your denim. 3 pair of shades in your own kind of rhythm, and that's all you need. Yeah, Paris, we firecrackers, red Corvettes, and big green crackers. Happy ever after in American style. Rock and roll and peace and love and breaking in your baseball glove ain't ever gonna go out of American style. American style. American style.
In front of the crowd, the Delta is making their approach to the flight line. Approaching center point, the entire formation will separate in dramatic fashion. Ladies and gentlemen, the Blue Angel Delta breakout.
What if I'm far from home? Oh, brother, I will be gone. What if I'm losing home? Oh, sister, I will help you back home. The sky comes falling down for you. There's nothing in this world I can do.
Ladies and gentlemen, your United States Navy Flight Demonstration Squadron represents a time-honored tradition of pride, professionalism, and excellence spanning 110 years of naval aviation. The 2021 team takes a great deal of pride in saluting Navy and Marine Corps aviators, maintenance crews, and support personnel everywhere. From the right, your 2021 Blue Angels. One of the unique demands placed upon naval aviators is that they be able to land their aircraft on their ship at sea. Whether it be a tactical jet, a propeller-driven aircraft, or a helicopter, each requires skill which the naval aviator must master. In order to perfect this skill, Navy and Marine Corps pilots spend a great deal of time in the landing pattern practicing carrier approaches. In front of you now, Commander Kessling and his wingmen are demonstrating a simulated carrier pattern. Approaching the runway from the right, Commander Kessling is confirming that the landing checks have been completed and that each aircraft is in fact ready to land. Rolling out on final, they'll make constant power and lineup corrections, maintaining the optimum rate of descent for the proper touchdown point.
you put me on the back burner. You know you gotta help me out, yeah. And when the wind to run, is there room for one more gun? These changes ain't changing me. The gold-hearted boy I used to be.
Demonstration pilots you've been watching perform here this afternoon are but a small part of the Blue Angel team. The men and women in blue uniforms standing before you are members of the elite Blue Angel maintenance crew. Through hard work, many long hours, and unselfish dedication, they have each year, for the past 75 years, provided us with the aircraft availability necessary to perform each of these flight demonstrations. As the aircraft taxi back, I'd like to take this opportunity to introduce the Blue Angel maintenance crew. Command Master Chief Eric McDermott from Baton Rouge, Louisiana. Maintenance Master Chief James Hernandez from Norwalk, California. Maintenance Chiefs Jim Domhoff from Cleveland, Ohio. Clint Smothers from Benton, Kentucky. Crew Coordinator Jess DeJuice from Go Naive, Haiti. Crew Chief Number 1 Kevin Hill from Trelawney, Jamaica. First Mech Paint Shop Josh Green from Bear Creek, Alabama. Crew Chief Number 2 Alex Gutierrez from San Antonio, Texas. First Mech Life Support Natalie Lopez from Nogales, Arizona. Crew Chief Number 3, Joseph Knopfinger from Beaverdale, Texas. First Mech Life Support, Brandon Francis from Sandwich, Illinois. Crew Chief Number 4, David Bloom from Nashville, Tennessee. First Mech Airframes, Dylan Lippert from Statesville, North Carolina. Crew Chief Number 5, Trevor Newell from Wichita, Kansas. First Mech Power Plant, Kathleen Henry from Moline, Illinois. Crew Chief Number 6, Billy Mastorio from Cliffwood Beach, New Jersey. First Mech Power Plant, Eileen Kupfer from Renton, New Jersey. Crew Chief Number 7, Jordan Walls from Dallas, Texas. Runway Truck Alert Crew, Ryan Miley from Spokane, Washington. Edwin Nolasco from Los Angeles, California. Colin Palmer from Bend, Oregon. Adam Wilbur from Louisville, Kentucky. Justin Johnson from Angola, Indiana. Quality Assurance Representative Elliot Moore from Bandera, Texas. Aerospace Medicine Technician Amelia Hausen from San Antonio, Texas. Public Affairs Representative Cody Hinton from Beaufort, South Carolina. Video Technician Dustin Clover from St. Louis, Missouri. Nico Pascal from Bismarck, North Dakota. Logistics Support Representative Jasmine Johnson from Gary, Indiana. Brian Hubbard from Atlanta, Georgia. Maintenance Control Representative Iris Knight from Beaver City, Utah. Music Choreographer Libby Wynn from Rock Hill, South Carolina. C-130 Crew Mike Burgess from Crown Point, Indiana. Chris Maxheimer from Mount Flash, Illinois. Brandon Paulson from Essex, Illinois. Maintenance Support Personnel Alan Chironja from Nairobi, Kenya. Highland McNaughton from Huntington Beach, California. Ladies and gentlemen, your 2021 Blue Angel Maintenance Crew. Directly before you, the Blue Angels will momentarily be turning into the parking area. As they step away from their aircraft, I'd like to take one final opportunity to introduce the demonstration pilots you've been watching perform here this afternoon. Having secured their engines, the pilots will simultaneously exit their aircraft on a signal from Commander Kessler. It has been an honor and our pleasure to perform for you here at Naval Air Facility El Centro. This one of our many practice flight demonstrations of the 2021 season.
And that is the wrapping it up for the Blue Angels. But don't go away. The program is not finished yet. But what a wonderful, incredible... I want to grab the Command Master Chief here, CMC, Hubert. The Blues have wrapped it up, and, you know, you've been to enough of these shows. What's your take this year with the Festival of Flight? I forget that I have a microphone, but you don't. I'm sorry about that. Let me ask that again. You've been to a number of air shows. You've been here as the Command Master Chief. What's your take on the Festival of Flight this year?
Ladies and gentlemen, flight coolers from 5.
Okay, we're going to go back to the Blues.
Flight coolers number 3. Great. That's the system. Flight coolers number 2.
Yeah.
Flight coolers number 1. Look at the officer and Minnesota. Commander Brian Kessler.
Go ahead. All right, as you may be able to hear in the background, the Blues wrapping things up for the day. And let's continue with our visit with Command Master Chief Hubert. You tell me, CMC, that you're about ready to wrap things up yourself this year.
I've had a blast. The fact that I was the sad part, I was a field bastard, so I had to do it out here without my wife and daughter. But they supported me a lot. Big time phone calls and but take that piece away, I absolutely love Bureau Valley. Like, did not let me down. I mean, how close-knit the community is between Imperial and El Centro. How, you know, a radio station even like yourself just makes things happen around here in the city. Love it. It's been great people. Being involved with going to Chamber of Commerce, you know, meeting, city council stuff, just the whole community here. I love being part of it, and they made me feel welcome from day one.
But you've been a real friend personally to KXO Radio through the years with Freedom Fest. Been very supportive of that. And I want you to know that didn't go unnoticed, and just to say a hearty thank you to you and all that you gave.
Well, I appreciate that, Gene. I don't know if I've ever given you one of my personal challenge points, have I? I did? Okay, all right.
You did. I got one. I think if it's the same one I'm thinking of, it is a beautiful coin, and I realized, I said, wow, that's a cool idea. But yes, I do have one.
All right, well, I appreciate you and Carroll have done so much for the Imperial Valley as well, and I thank you guys so much for keeping the airways going and actually playing my favorite music every day. So it worked out well when I came here and checked in. But yeah, again, like I said, my time is coming to an end here, and just absolutely loved it, and I'm always going to keep the pearl in the desert in my heart down there. So thanks.
Well, now you, ladies and gentlemen, you know what a CMC is. They're a Command Master Chief, and this one happens to be with the name Hubert. And he's been a great friend, but we say good luck on your next venture. Yeah, I know.
Thank you, sir. Appreciate it. Thank you.
Let's see. Our next We have a familiar face here.
Hey,
we have the public affairs officer.
Yes, sir. And that was an incredible event we put on today. I know my wife was texting me photos from the home, listening to the jet noise on the radio. I got texts and messages from my friend Arletta and a whole bunch of other people just telling me how great everything was going. Terry and Les chatted with me, just Ted and Lisa, just so many people, you know, writing and saying what a glorious event it was out in town, which is what we were really trying to pull off, was something that we could give to the community that they couldn't get this year here on base. And I think we did a tremendous event doing that. And here in a short moment, we're going to have a really special event. We're getting them in position right now, but the commanding officer of the Blue Angels and the commanding officer of NAF El Centro are going to be able to chat with the Imperial Valley here just momentarily and talk about this year. And if we can just give them a moment, I see my captain is coming into view right
here. CO here.
And we've got the CO of the Blues. He's coming right over here right now. And we'll give the microphone to the two of them, and we'll let them have a couple of words.
All right. We're in great company here today, and maybe we should start out with the CEO of the base here and let him do the introductions. Our commanding officer, Bill Perkins, is at the microphone there, and you've had a busy day, Captain.
Well, thanks very much. And just like any aviation squadron, it takes teamwork. And it takes the operations team, the maintenance support team, everyone working on and around the base. They worked together for a year to bring this event to the Valley, and I'm glad we were able to pull it off successfully. I thank the residents of the Valley for abiding by the things I requested, making this a virtual event and really not pressurizing the base by showing up, and I really appreciate it. I took a look around the fence line. I really appreciate the posture that everyone helped us meet, and thank you for helping us bring this show to them virtually. And speaking of the show, I wanted to introduce Commander Brian Kesselring, boss of the Blue Angels. Skipper, great to have you back on deck. The Super Hornets, hell of a show. Glad you could be here. I wonder if you would take a minute and say a little bit about what the Valley means to you. Why do you come here every year, and why is it so important for your training for your folks?
First off, Skipper, thank you very much for the support that you've given us. No doubt about it. We've been coming to the Valley for over 50 years, and this is where the Blue Angels cut their teeth. And really, the show is made right here. For a team that spends over 300 days on the road, this is about as home as any other place is. We spend more consecutive days in the Imperial Valley than we do anywhere else on the nation. And I'll tell you what, the support that we have from the Valley, this local community, and no doubt, Captain Perkins, your staff, everybody on base here, that allows us to do what you just saw there, which was a fantastic show to give the public to showcase the Navy and Marine Corps and what our mission is. So I can't thank you all enough. I can't thank the Valley enough for the support that we get when we're out here. And truly, it's a special place. The Imperial Valley, the Naval Air Facility El Centro, has a special spot in our heart based upon the people who support us year in and year out.
Yeah, we're honored to have you here every year, boss, and we're honored to have you demo and debut the Super Hornet. And we got just a small memento for the end of your training cycle for this year. So we'd like to present you with the inaugural Festival of Flight poster that recognizes this event from us to all of you. Thanks very much. You guys are a great show, and we love having you here.
Thank you, sir. Thank you for that. What a fantastic poster. What a fantastic day. Had a couple days leading up to this that we weren't quite sure what the weather was going to hold. But as the old adage holds true, for the sun spends its winters, and we saw that today. What a beautiful day. Thanks again, Captain, and look forward to next year's training out here as well.
Hey, thanks, boss. Have a great rest of your 21 season, and see you next year. Take care.
Thank you.
All right, Gene. Well, thanks very much for helping us with this event. I think we are getting ready to call this a wrap. I really appreciate what you and your team did to help us bring this to the Valley.
You've been, as we would only expect, with the wonderful rapport that we've seen, the enjoyment between the community and NAF El Centro through all these years, decades, literally.
Yeah.
It's been fantastic, and we really appreciate it. I'm glad to hear that you're happy with that. You used the word virtual, which has been so much overused, I guess. But it really wasn't virtual. I mean, you quickly forgot that.
Yeah, we did what I wanted, which was have a live event with real acts and not demo and film from previous years put together. We wanted to have an actual event and then somehow bring that to the Valley. You helped us do that, so thank you very much for helping me meet that goal.
Thank you, Captain, and just I bid you a great weekend. It's half over with, but in the history books now, we can say the Festival of Flight is now official. It's happened, and we'll find out. I think it was well received. We'll find out.
And we're already planning for next year. And with that, I want to turn the mic over to Chris. He's going to tell you what we're thinking about for next year and then some opportunities to further integrate the Valley. So for me, to everyone listening, thank you very much for everything you do. Thanks to our first responders across the Valley and everyone for helping bring the community, hopefully, to a close through COVID. And then hopefully we were able to bring a little bit of light to your life today. But with that, I'll give it to Chris, and we'll talk about what we're thinking about.
Thank you. Captain Bill Perkins, head honcho here for Naval Air Facility El Centro. Have a great day, Captain.
I don't think I'm going to be able to follow up on that very well, Gene, but the skipper did task me with telling everybody what we're planning for next year. So let's assume we're all going to come back, 10 to 15, maybe 20,000 of our closest friends here on base. One of the ideas we're having for next year is to consolidate the traditional food fest that happens Friday night into the Festival of Flight, making it a one-day event that would start off with the morning, where we have a classic car show like we normally do, some statics for everybody to look at, vendors selling their wares, and then move into the flying part. And then in the afternoon, we're looking into the possibility of concerts, like a battle of the local bands, and then closing it out with that tremendous fireworks display that everybody loves across the Valley. So that's one of the ideas we're looking at. Could we retool it further into a spectacular one-day event that would really encompass a lot of the things we've done over several days before, make it a one-day bigger event? It's something I think has a lot of draw. We also want to try and include the community more next year with vendors. We're looking into some ideas we have with that. Skipper's got a lot of great stuff that we're going to work with. So one thing we can announce right now that everybody can help us work on is the poster contest for next year.
Right.
On our NAF El Centro website, and it's easily found if you Google NAF El Centro, you'll find on the airshow page that we set up a separate page for the poster contest. And what we're asking the Valley to do is help us design next year's poster. We would like somebody here to design the poster that we're going to use next year on all of our artwork and everything like that. And that's what we meant by the Festival of Flight becoming more inclusive, is by including the Valley in some of those decision-making processes. And we would love it if people would go to the website, read the rules, they're pretty simple, and help us design next year's poster. I think that would be just awesome.
Fantastic. Well, people, if you are listening right now, make a note of that, and you've got a year to work on.
Exactly, and in fact, if anybody needs to put it on their calendar, I've been told that next year's Festival of Flight will be on March 12th, 2022.
All right, we're going to write that down.
We're already starting to plan, Gene.
Well, thank you so much, Chris Haw. It's been a pleasure working with you and all the great follow-through and all the great support that you and your staff and just the base general have offered to us. I feel bad. Carroll is back here behind us, and he's been punching all the buttons and everything today.
Well, somebody has to be behind the curtain. Just you can call me Oz. Okay?
All right. Well, I want to say, again, thank you. I think it would only be fitting that our final comments would come from the captain of the base, who has a thank you, a due to say, have a great weekend.
I agree with you, Gene. Let's cut Skipper.
All right.
Thank you very much for joining us today virtually. As this was our first ever foray into the world of virtual air shows, I hope we were able to provide you some level of enjoyment, even though we could not safely conduct a live, in-person event like we were hoping. I'd be remiss if I did not thank a few people whose efforts were key to this event's success. First, the county leadership, who understood the importance of our base relationship and the relevance of this air show to help raise people's spirits. Thank you for helping us manage the development of our festival so that it was compatible with county areas of concern. Gene and Carroll at KXO Radio provided the backbone for this virtual event. They answered my question, how do we bring the show to the people? And the performers make the show. Thank you, Boss Kesselring and the men and women of the world-famous Blue Angels. Absolute professionals across the board, and the Super Hornet is quite a show. Good luck with the rest of your 2021 show season. I also want to thank the A-10 Thunderbolt 2 demonstration team and VFA 122 for joining us out here today. And last, we get to those who went first, the leapfrogs and their jump platform. We went through 4 different types of aircraft who all became unavailable as a jump platform for one reason or another, and I cannot thank Commodore Wiley at HSC Wingspack and Captain Eastman, the CO of HSC-3, for finding a way to help me make this happen. And from the bottom of my heart, I thank the men and women of NAF El Centro for the tireless work they do every single day to keep us on mission. Team Security gets a day off, keeping our families and workforce safe in the worst of the summer heat and all throughout the year, including today when we had additional safety requirements and traffic challenges due to COVID. Across every department, morale, welfare, recreation, including housing and child and youth services, safety, integration, emergency management, admin, air operations, including our amazing flight line support personnel and our tremendous air traffic controllers who manage one of the most complex airspaces possible, and add in the fact that many of the pilots are actually students prone to making mistakes. The annual air show is about way more than just jets. It's a celebration of what you do every single day of the year. Excellence embodied. Speaking of all year, that's what it takes to put this festival together. Planning for this event took more than 11 months, peering into crystal balls, trying to sense what COVID was going to do to us this March. And this year, a virtual event leaned much more heavily on the world-famous NAPEC Public Affairs team, informally known as Blue Death Productions. This event was extremely heavy lift by that small group of people who went the extra mile to make all the magic happen. Don't forget to keep watch on the NAF El Centro's social media channels for the video highlights from today's festival. As a reminder for next year's festival, as we look to expand on the base and community relationship, we're having a poster design contest. If you want to be part of history, submit your graphic that explains what the festival and what the base means to you as a resident of Imperial Valley. And again, I ask you to see our website for more details on this contest. Thank you all for joining us virtually today. I hope you and your families remain safe. That's all from NAF El Centro, the Pearl of the Desert. Fly Navy.
KXO AM 1230, the best oldies on the radio.